Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of December 21st, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and interesting. And let's talk about the 10 Commandments. This is really something. The oldest 10 Commandments tablet sold at Sotheby's the other day for $5 million. Wow. Okay, it's kind of a big deal because it's between 300 and 800 AD. It's a 155-pound marble slab. And the story behind it is actually kind of crazy. It was dug up in Israel in 1913 when they were trying to put some railroads together. And then for decades, it was used at somebody's house as just a paving stone. So literally, they just walked on it every single day without knowing, like, wow, this is really something. Yes, the 10 Commandments. But speaking of tablets, yes, Moses. Yes, Moses had the very first one connected to the cloud. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Kim Komando Show because, after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again. It is my job and my sole purpose to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left tech behind in the digital dust. And after all, you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations across the United States. Now, I am streaming in your favorite radio app too. Just go ahead and search for my last name, Komando. But you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. And what that means is that you can take me wherever and whenever you want. So take me on a walk. And then this way, as step by step, you're going to be learning, you're going to be laughing, you're going to be having a great time. And you can get the Kim Komando Show podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Komando with a K. And I know that you have a lot of questions about something digital that you need a trusted source to go to. I mean, don't even bother Googling anything. And of course, you can always use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Copilot, and the list goes on and on. But when you need someone to talk to, I'm your go-to gal. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. You can learn more right now by visiting T-Mobile.com/55. And I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. Over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle. It's the #1 cloud ERP. It just brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. NetSuite has added a range of new AI features to its product, and these updates are designed to help companies operate more efficiently. So, for example, the software can now automatically detect unusual activity in a company's financial data, allowing issues to be addressed quickly before they become bigger problems. And it helps give you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days and not weeks, let me tell you, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. And NetSuite will help you respond to immediate challenges and then seize your biggest opportunities. You can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. I call it my labor of love. Every single day, I get so excited to jump out of bed and I learn everything that's happening in the tech world because it's always changing. So perfect for me. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know that I learned about. And this way, you're always going to be that tech smart person in your life. And we're going to start with The drones. Yes, bring in the drones. It's been about a month since those drones appeared over New Jersey. Now, there's no real evidence that these drones are being flown illegally. And now we have rumors of frightening purpose. You may have heard about this. I mean, I always thought it was just like AI-based military drones, maybe doing some exercises over a real-life urban area. But the most frightening rumor is that these drones have a life and death mission. They are trying to detect trace amounts of radiation, the kind that could be smuggled across our open borders, the kind that could easily be used by terrorists to build either a dirty bomb or maybe even a small nuclear device. Now, the rumors claim that these drones are being flown by NEST. Okay. What exactly is NEST? I didn't know what this was either. I had to look it up. It's the Nuclear Emergency Support Team. And that would explain why everybody's being so like, shh, don't talk about the drones in New Jersey. Yeah, but meanwhile, everybody else is. All right, let's move on to the FBI number 2. They're telling us to stop texting. Why? Because they're saying that hackers tied to communist China, they are running this major operation and they're breaking into all of the telecom networks. And so if you're going to be sending a text, it's not encrypted. And unless you're a Chinese spy, that you probably want to start using something like, I don't know, WhatsApp or Signal or something like that. So just know that when you're sending a text message, it's not encrypted and it can be intercepted by communist China, Russia, Iran, I mean, you name it. And that's why it's always good sometimes, to talk face to face. Yes, I know. We all love texting. All right, moving on to number 3. I thought this was super interesting. I read about this in the Wall Street Journal. There was a guy by the name of Jesse Beck, 45 years old. 4 days before he died in a motorcycle crash, he recorded a selfie video where he detailed that if he were to pass away, that he did not want his daughter to get any of his possessions or any of his money. He wanted it all to go to his brother. But the selfie video doesn't really constitute as a will in the state of Montana. So guess what? Everything's probably going to go to the daughter, including a $750,000 lawsuit payout. But half of Americans lack wills, as reported by the Wall Street Journal. And you might think like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. I can just take a video with my phone or audio recording with my phone. And it is super easy, but just know that the gold standard for a will is still a paper drafted by a lawyer, signed in front of 2 witnesses and notarized. And so if you want to have your wishes honored, that's the best way to do it. Moving on to number 4. Yeah, it's back. I'm talking about the social media gift exchange. It's actually a pyramid scheme. But now the cases are a little bit different because they're saying like, okay, maybe you need to buy a bottle of wine. Maybe you need to buy, a phone. You need to buy a laptop charger or whatever it may be. And then it's like you give a gift and then the next person gets another gift and then you get 36 gifts in return. Okay, it's all a scam. Do not fall for it. You're going to send somebody a gift and that's probably going to be a scammer. So if you really want to get the gift that you want, you need to go out and buy it for yourself. All right, finally this, coming in at number 5. We all know about ChatGPT. Okay, that you can use the app on your phone, which is amazing. You can go to the website and use it. I actually pay $20 a month to use ChatGPT, so I get things a little bit faster and I'm a little bit on the edge. Now, the other day, they released a whole bunch of updates to ChatGPT, including you can now call 1-800-ChatGPT. So why did they come out with a 1-800 number so that this way you could ask AI questions? Yes, you're following me. Okay, the reason why they did this is because they want more Americans to start using AI, and not enough people are comfortable using, say, for example, the web or the app, but they think, okay, people can actually call a 1-800 number and get an answer, and then that's how we're going to be able to get more people exposed to the power of AI. So you get up to 15 minutes for free a month. And so let's go ahead and let's give ChatGPT AI a call right now here on the air by calling 1-800-CHAT-GPT.
Hello again. It's ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Our conversation may be reviewed for safety. How can I help you?
What does 1-800-CHAT-GPT do?
1-800-CHAT-GPT is a way to interact with me, ChatGPT, over the phone. It's designed to make AI more accessible, especially for those who prefer speaking over typing.
See, I knew it. I knew that's why you were there. Okay, so let me ask you a few questions. Number one, ChatGPT is AI. Do you think that AI is going to take over the world and destroy all humankind?
That's a common concern, but the reality is more nuanced. AI, like me, is a tool created by humans and is designed to assist and augment human capabilities, not to take over or destroy. It's important to use AI responsibly and ethically.
Yes, responsibly and ethically, and that's really important. So let's switch gears just a little bit. Tell me your funniest joke about Santa Claus.
Sure, here's one. Why does Santa go down the chimney on Christmas Eve? Because it suits him.
Okay, that was pretty bad, even for me. You got another one?
Tough crowd. Let's try again. Why did Santa get a parking ticket on Christmas Eve? He left his sleigh in a snow parking zone.
Phew, makes me feel better that ChatGPT is not going to be taking my job. Oh, yes. Hey, listen, they're just tired of dealing with annoying passwords. Every account needs a different one. Uppercase, lowercase, symbols, 12 or more characters. Enough already. NordPass ends the madness for good, so you can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. NordPass remembers and autofills them for you. That's it. You're going to love this. You go to a site, and instead of you trying to remember your password, NordPass steps in like magic and autofills all your passwords. And when you're buying something, it autofills your credit card, billing, shipping details too. Now, NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption and offers email masking, password sharing, and even a solution for businesses. Now, I negotiated a special deal for you. Go to nordpass.com/Kim for 58% off today. That's nordpass.com/Kim, nordpass.com/Kim. All right, coming up, we have such an amazing show for you. You're not going to want to miss a second. We're going to talk about what to do with all your new high-tech gifts, a special message from Santa and how you can tap into that, some last-minute Christmas gifts, and let me tell you, we just have the best callers ever, and you have me. You don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. This is the last weekend to enter to win a $500 Amazon gift card. No purchase required. You want to go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com to win that $500 Amazon gift card. Do it now before the contest is over. All right, let's get this party started with JD in Dallas, Texas. Hi, JD.
Hi, Kim. I'm calling about an incident that happened at the North Park Mall recently. It was very, very busy. It was on a weekend. My wife and I stopped for a quick selfie, and a couple of guys rapidly approached us and said, "Hey, do you want us to take the picture for you?" So she held the phone out, and as soon as he held the phone up and looked through it, he made a kind of a melodramatic face and held the phone back down and grabbed his sweater and rubbed the lens. And his friend said to him, "Is there a smudge on that?" And he said, "Oh, big time." So he held the phone back up and looked through it again. He went through this whole thing 3 times, rubbing the phone, holding it back up. He finally did take the picture, but I just felt like I was curious if we should be concerned. Can someone hack your phone that way? And if they can, what should we do about it? I have no idea how to check her phone out to tell if anything's wrong.
Okay. Does she have Venmo on the phone?
Oh, yes. I think PayPal and Apple Pay.
That's the one. That's what I would be concerned about. If they were able to transfer any money from her Venmo account to them. I'd be, just look at those records, look at PayPal transactions, obviously with Apple Cash. But I would definitely look at all the payment apps like, Venmo, as I said, and PayPal, the banking apps. Maybe what she might want to do is just, go into her iCloud account, change her password.
Okay.
Just
all right.
make sure that, to make sure that that's secure. You can also check for any recent logins while you're there under account activity, under the Apple ID for unfamiliar devices, unfamiliar locations. But again, turn on two-factor authentication. I mean, it sounds like all this stuff, and it's kind of disheartening because, it's like, hey, yeah, of course, I want to take a picture in front of a Christmas tree, right, in the mall.
Right. It just seemed like too big of an act. He and his friend acted like they had practiced this whole thing, and I don't know why.
Well, that's why you have to get in there and just do a little deep dive. And if things still bother you, I would do a factory reset.
Yeah.
then just do, you're going to have everything backed up on iCloud as far as your photos and your videos and things like that. So make sure that happens. And then just do a factory reset, because it will erase everything on the phone. But, when you were first talking, I thought for sure you were going to say, like, you gave them the phone and they ran away, because that happened to friends of mine.
I got a bad feeling that when he was going through all this, I thought, either he's trying to sell me something or he's getting ready to turn and run away. but he didn't. So anyway.
Well, maybe it was just a good Samaritan. Maybe. Okay?
Maybe.
Maybe, but we're all too keen to all these scams and thefts and everything that's going on in the world. It's just nutso. But, go in there, do a deep dive, and if it doesn't feel right, listen to your gut and just do a factory reset. Thanks for your call, JD. All right, Howard in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for asking. So,
good.
What's on your mind?
Last year, I was diagnosed with some minor hearing issues. So anyway, I went to one of these national hearing aid places, and they did the hearing test and said, yeah, you have some minor hearing issues, and it's appropriate with your age and blah, blah, blah. And they tried to sell me a $7,000 pair of hearing aids, and which I decided, even after they offered me $200 off, if I would act right away, I decided, I'm going to walk away. So I saw the Apple ad on the internet.
Oh, it's a fabulous ad. Isn't that? That is an amazing ad.
Oh, yeah. Well, it touched me. So I ordered some AirPod Pros and thought, there's only a couple of companies out there when it comes to noise or sound, Dolby, Sony, and Apple that I really have a certain respect for. And anyway, so Bose, I guess, too. But anyway, so I thought about making the leap. My kids all have iPhones. I don't. I've always been an Android person for generations.
Okay, well, here's what you need. You're going to need to get an iPhone. And you're going to try the AirPods Pro 2.
I have those.
Okay, so you're going to put those two together, and then you're going to take a hearing test. And then prepare to be amazed. They are fabulous for mild to kind of almost a little bit moderate hearing loss, but really mild, just what you said. My husband, because of having so many years with headphones blasting in his earbuds, in his ears, is he's got hearing loss. So I'm like, okay, you got to try this. Just try it. So I get his phone, got him the AirPods, slap him in his ear, say, here, take the hearing test. He's like, I said, just try it for like a couple of hours. Our son, Ian, and I were in the kitchen talking, and we were talking about Christmas presents. And then all of a sudden he says, no, I don't want that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want that? He's like, I don't want that. Now, I'm now like 2 days ago, he would never even heard that. But now he's got the AirPods in.
So my question, I guess, is I know nothing about these iPhones other than everything I've ever heard about them is they're very expensive.
They're very expensive. You're going to spend $1,000, and you need and don't even mess around buying a cheap iPhone. I want you to buy the iPhone 16 Pro.
Okay.
Now, if you like a bigger phone, get the Pro Max. But if you're like, you know what, Kim, I really just am kind of getting this for the AirPods and make sure my hearing's as good as it can, and I really do most of my work on a Windows laptop or a MacBook, then you probably don't need the Pro Max. But since you already have the AirPods, you're going to love this, and just go get the iPhone 16 Pro. That's the one that you want, and it's going to be the best. And thanks for your call. All righty, using the internet without an ExpressVPN is like checking in your baggage at the airport without a lock. You think that your stuff is kept private, but you just never know. So you can encrypt all your data with ExpressVPN and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, so you need some last-minute gifts. All right, basically, if you go on Amazon.com, you can not only buy Amazon.com electronic gift cards, but you can also buy other retailers too. Now, airline websites, they also sell electronic gift certificates. And if you have somebody who really is a foodie, goldbelly.com, a gift card there is fabulous. You can also get your gift cards using your credit card reward points. That's exactly what I do. All right, still to come, we're going to talk about how to set good passwords on all those tech gifts and then how you can tap into Santa. Yes, you don't want to miss that here on The Kim Komando Show. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, let me tell you, we are not getting any younger, sorry to say, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Now, here's the deal. You can get 45% off and free shipping right now by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. All right, you're going to be getting some tech gifts. I'm going to give you some pointers on what to do as soon as you unbox it all. And then later on, how you can see exactly where Santa is located on Christmas Eve. Oh, amazing. That's thanks to like some high-tech GPS marvels. Now, before we go back to all of your phone calls, let's just talk about if you ever get a text or a WhatsApp message about an easy online job, they say, all you have to do is play a game, do a few things, and you are going to make big bucks. Well, the FTC came out this past week and said these game scams are like everywhere. Here's how it goes down. You get paid for a little at first for some simple tasks like rating products or visiting a website. And then, of course, it's all part of the job. They say, okay, now here's the deal. We're going to pay you more, but now you need to pay us to be part of this opportunity. And bottom line here is don't fall for it. Just delete the message and move on. If you see these ads on social media, you know, just like in real life, there's no such thing as a quick buck. And there are so many scammers, Let's see. Trisha in Jefferson City, Missouri. Hi there, Trisha.
Hi, Kim. Nice to talk to you again. Thank you
for
taking my call.
I know who you are.
Good.
I sent your husband an autographed photo.
You know, and he introduces you now as his girlfriend. So just so you know.
That's awesome.
I guess I'm a little over the hill for him. I don't know.
No. You know what? One time I had to call a gentleman when my mom was sick, and he was in charge of a foundation. And so I was given his personal cell phone number. And so I called his cell phone, and I was expecting to talk to Bob. And instead, his wife, Kay, answered. And I said, now this is really uncomfortable for me. I said, I'm calling a man who I don't know. And his wife answers, and I'm supposed to be asking him out for a cocktail. Okay, so. And then she laughed and she said, you know, Kim, this happens all the time. So here, I'm like, okay. And I feel really good about that. So what's going on with you?
My daughter has just joined a dating site.
Okay.
And she was regaling us with the warnings about that the dating site put out there going, oh, don't give anybody your home phone number or your address. And by the way, you know, you need to know who these people are. And they promise that they check their backgrounds, but I'm very dubious about that. And the reason I am is because you pays your money, you get on the site, right?
Right.
And so I'd like her to be able to verify independently who these people are. And you've talked about it, I think, on one of your other at least one of your newsletters where mature people, she's not, but mature people get scammed by people on dating sites all the time. And I know one.
Oh.
Heartbreaking. So there's internet searches will give you all sorts of different.
It's, you know what? Let me tell you,
outfits.
it's Trisha. It's tough. It's tough because, I mean, it's hard enough meeting somebody in real life, and now you're going to be swiping left or right on who knows who and whether or not that's even that person.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm glad I'm not single. I wouldn't want to go through that at all. And I have so many friends who are. And I mean, this one gal who I'm mentoring, she's in, early 30s. And I said, you ought to come to Phoenix and, get out of that relationship and, I'll help you out and I'll give you a job. And so she comes down to Phoenix and I say, hey, let's sign you up for some dating apps. Anyway, I swear, I don't know why guys think that somehow women want to see this, but she got so many pictures of male genitalia. Okay.
OMG.
It's like, okay, it's not pretty. I'm sorry. Okay. And we don't want to see picture after picture of this thing. So anyway, here nor there. There are ways you can do background checks. And there are some services who say that they do background checks. Now, whether or not they're good background checks, and they're probably covered by a lot of legal agreements that say, we might make a mistake from time to time. And so, of course, she's going to do a reverse Google search on the image, see if the profile picture is stolen. Then there are background check sites like Been Verified and Truth Finder. There's also Social Catfish that is out there. And then you want to look at all of their social media footprints, maybe Bumble or Hinge. I mean, they do offer photo verification. eHarmony, they've been around forever, and they still say that they vet members more thoroughly. But, you never want to give out your primary cell phone number. Have her use a Google Voice number. So this way it's not, she still can get the calls, but it's not tied to, in case somebody's a whack job, right? I mean, it's sorry, but we got to say that. And just verify. Never meet this person alone. Be careful what they might put in your drink.
I hear you. People find you on Facebook and reach out to you, and you go, oh, okay. Maybe that's somebody who might be all right, but
well,
she's got one that's just leave me
what
alone,
about the
dude?
Tell me about the one that she has.
Well, it was somebody from our small town, and we, we lived in Iowa. That's where she grew up, and this guy reached out, and she didn't know who he was. She went to class with somebody who was related to this person, and he kept trying to, hey, how about I come by? Hey, let's do this, let's do that. Oh, and he'll periodically send her a random note or call her randomly and say, hey, I don't know why you ghosted me.
Oh. Well, but see,
and let me tell you why.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's going to happen in real life too. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I have heard from some of the single gals here in the studios that they do like Facebook dating because everybody seems to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So the chances of just finding a random stranger may not necessarily be the case. But, you're her mom, and thanks for calling because obviously, you're concerned about her, and rightfully so, because there are so many nutcases on these dating apps that you just have to be super careful. Really, really, very careful. Trisha, I'll tell your husband I said hello, and I miss him. I'm so glad I'm married. I mean, online dating is it's just going to be weird. It's like you're shopping for a human being. That one's bad. I could like this one if fill in the blanks, or, oh, that one's perfect. Yep, just box it up. Hey, listen, anyone can buy your personal info online. I'm talking about ad companies, stalkers, scammers, thieves. even the government insurance companies. And that's why I wanted to remove my personal information from data brokers and people's search sites. Now, let me tell you, I tried a few companies and I was super impressed with Incogni. My personal data has been removed from over 700 data broker and people's search sites, and they're working on more. My name is on like 50 data suppression lists, meaning they can't put me back on those lists. So it's time for you to take control of your personal information and reduce the risk of spam, scams, and identity theft. Now, during the holidays, when there's so much to do and we're moving so quickly, it's super easy to make a mistake and just hand over all your personal data without even realizing it. That's why it's important to visit privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. You're going to get 60% off at privacykim.com. All right, so you are all set for a whole bunch of really great tech gifts this year. I'm talking about smart thermostats and cameras, gaming consoles, lights, maybe even a brand new TV. And you're like, wow, I just want to turn it on. I want to have fun with it. All right, it probably comes with a default password. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you change that. You know, a basic password could lead hackers making purchases on your stored payment details on your gaming console. Even a smart lamp needs a solid password. And you also want to make sure that you do any type of firmware updates, because so often when you get something new for Christmas, it's brand new to you, but it may have been sitting in the box for like 3 or 6 months. And then maybe there were a whole bunch of updates. So no matter what you get for the holiday season, I want you to make sure that you take the time to set it up properly and make sure that you do all the software and hardware updates. Alrighty then, still to come, we have some great phone calls you can't afford to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Amid the holiday prep and gifts arriving on your doorsteps, keeping your home and family safe has never been more crucial. Why? FBI data shows that the holidays see a sharp rise in burglaries and theft. And right now, you can save 50% on a new Simply Safe system. Now, unlike traditional security systems that only kick in after somebody's already inside the house, with Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection, monitoring agents can prevent crime before it even starts, seeing and speaking to suspicious individuals in real time, and requesting 911 dispatch even before they reach your door. So with no long-term contracts and professional monitoring plans starting at around $1 a day, it's no wonder that Simply Safe was named the best home security system by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. That's a huge deal. Head to simplysafekim.com to save 50% on your brand new system with a select professional monitoring plan. That's simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Alrighty then, Katie in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hi, Katie.
Hello. Yeah, Commando, how are you?
I'm fantastic. What's going on in Cedar Rapids?
Oh, it's actually a warm day today, so, well, for us.
What is warm in Cedar Rapids?
Oh, we're rocking in the 50s.
Excellent.
At least last time I checked, so, yeah.
So what's going on in your tech world?
Okay, in my tech world, I am learning about apps in the app stores. So I have a restaurant, and we're getting ready to put on a online ordering app.
Awesome.
And so we have a service helping us, but in part of it, I've got to be the one who sets up the Apple developer portion of it and also the Google developer. And so as I was going through this and I'm setting it up, one of the questions that came up was we had to have a privacy policy on our website. And that's not something we did because we weren't taking anybody's data or information. And so my big question was, where do I go to find to write a privacy policy? And then that brought up my question. Like, I thought, hey, Kim Komando uses AI sometimes to help. Then I thought, okay, which AI do you use?
Well, before we get to all of that, Katie, what kind of restaurant is it?
We sell, it's just kind of a sports, just a hometown restaurant. We sell a signature item called a chicken lip, which is like a breaded buffalo chicken tender, and some various burgers and pizzas and that kind of stuff. So,
and so now you developed your own app. Why didn't you use something like Postmates?
We are actually working with a POS system, and part of the app is they're developing it. They develop it with the whole system, but I still have a part of it. So I'm not actually developing the app, but I have to have some of the licensing, or not, I don't know if you call it licensing, but I have to have the developer's license.
I see. Okay. Well,
I don't understand all that.
And well, terms and conditions are super important, and privacy policies, because it spells out the rules of the road and what you're going to do with user data and how you are aggregating it, individual, anonymized. Also, you want to be in compliance with the various state privacy policies. So the thing that you don't want to do is just go to AI and say, give me a privacy policy. Because what could happen is that AI hallucinates, they leave something out, they misspeak, then you have this privacy policy up on your site, and then somebody says, you know what, I'm going to sue them because they're violating my privacy. Okay. So,
oh goodness.
So what you want, and it's not expensive, but if you ever go to commando.com, that we make you accept all cookies, and if you don't want them, then you can't see certain content, and that's all spelled out in the privacy policies because we've got CCPA and GDPR and all these other ones. So there's a couple of websites that you can check out, and I would rather that you pay a yearly fee for this, because this way, in case there's ever changes in privacy laws in your state or in other states, like if people visit your site from California for some reason, that they have different privacy restrictions than, say, somebody who's coming from Arizona. And so the services that are out there, it's up to them to make sure that you are always in compliance with the terms and conditions. And so, like, one's called Termly, Termly, termly.io. Another one's just privacypolicies.com. And they started around $30 a year. And then the next step is you have to, you're going to be linking this privacy policy directly inside your app store whenever you get that up. And then on your website footer, you'll see everybody always has privacy policy links, because believe it or not, there are people that read them. Okay. I'm like,
goodness.
It's like, I think you need to get out more. You need to do that.
All right.
So what was that? A chicken lip?
It's a chicken lip. That's our signature dish.
All right. I can't say I've ever heard of it. And I'm glad you described it to me, because when you said chicken lip, I was like, oh no, tell me you're not eating that. Tell me you're not doing that. So is this a family recipe, Katie?
This is a recipe that my partners and I came upon.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I hope you sell a lot of chicken lip. I can't say that I ever thought I would say that on a national radio show or even any part of my life about chicken lips. Katie, thanks for your call. If you need any more help, I'm always here for you. Hey, just a quick reminder that I am here to help you with your small business, with your family matters, those digital dilemmas, whatever it may be. But if you ever want some one-on-one help, you have to let me know. I mean, if I was a psychic, I would have had all the winning lottery numbers and living in the Seychelles or someplace like that. Actually, I think I would go to the Maldives, because there's an island there by the name of Commando. And I keep saying, someday I want to go to the Maldives, the island of Commando, and stand there and say, like, hey, like, this was mine. But anyway, if you want to drop me your question, go to commando.com, and then there's an Ask Kim link at the top. Once again, that's commando.com, and you want to use that Ask Kim link. I read every single note that you guys and gals send me. All right, Santa is almost here. I'm so excited, and I'm going to tell you about the GPS Marvels and Rudolph's Red Light. It's just amazing here on the Kim Komando Show. Over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one platform. Now you can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, NORAD, amazing. Okay, their Santa tracker has traced the coordinates of Rudolph's red nose, this GPS marvel, in real time. They use the most advanced radar, the most advanced satellites, and even fighter jets to pinpoint that bright red light. So, Christmas Eve, I want you to go to norredsanta.org. And if you have somebody who needs to talk to somebody, like I had Ian talk to somebody one year because he's like, I'm waiting for Santa. I'm like, no, you need to go to bed. You can actually call the 1-800 number and speak to one of Santa's representatives. Once again, that's at norredsanta.org, norredsanta.org. Hey, thanks for being here and thanks for all your support. You can find me always at komando.com.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
You know, it's a Christmas tradition. You gotta make the cookies for Santa. Okay, one year I tried to make them. I thought, okay, this is gonna be fabulous. You know, Ian was, I don't know, he was probably 8 or 9. And so I made chocolate chip cookies. But the problem is I got distracted, as it happens in my life. And all of a sudden I'm like, what's that smell? Okay, and then I go in the kitchen and like the cookies were like on fire. They were like black. And I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, what am I gonna do? I have people coming over the house. I don't want it to stink. So I went to one of the outdoor patios and I just dumped the cookie pan. And I figured like it would be all great on the cement and not do anything. And then I brought the sheet in with me inside the kitchen. Okay, everything was fine and good. And the next day, Ian comes to me. It was so funny. Ian comes to me, he's like, Mom, this is amazing. I have proof that Santa was really here. And I'm thinking like, oh, what would that be? And he said, there's a whole bunch of reindeer poop on the back patio. Yes. Okay. I'm like, yes, that was all reindeer poop. It wasn't your mother not being able to make chocolate chip cookies. But let's ask Santa what kind of cookies that he really wants.
Ho, ho, ho! Well, my favorite cookies are chocolate chip, warm and gooey. They pair perfectly with a glass of milk. Remember, I'm always listening, even on the Kim Komando Show. Ho, ho, ho!
Yeah, Santa. He's always really good to me because I'm like always nice. But one year I left Santa kale chips and oat milk. Yeah, he left me a treadmill, a Peloton. Never a good gift, by the way. You don't want to buy the woman in your life an exercise machine of any sort. And on that happy note, welcome. Of course, it's the Kim Komando Show because I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And you are about ready to get more tech smart. So you better put on that thinking cap because after all, you need to be tech ahead or else you'll be left tech behind. And that's my job. And you can find the Kim Komando Show. It's the best show, the award-winning show, the biggest show on over 400 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. But you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Komando with a K. And then you can take me on the go. You know, maybe you're going to be driving around during the holidays, you're going to be taking some long walks, or maybe there's somebody in your life that says, I don't need to know anything about technology. And you're like, here, just listen to Kim and you will be sold. I mean, really, if you just listen to this show one time, we always get brand new listeners. So be sure to tell your family members and friends about me too. So anyway, you can get the show as a podcast. Just search for Komando with a K. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women. And Merry Christmas to all you guys and gals. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. You know, T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Learn more by going to T-Mobile.com/55 today. And I'd like to thank Oracle for helping to make this show possible. I mean, even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere. from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, let me tell you, it's coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power. So how do you compete without costs just spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all of your AI and machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for computing, 80% less for networking. So you're just saving a pile of money. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including MGM Resorts, Specialized Bikes, and Fireworks AI. Right now, Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. For new U.S. customers with minimum financial commitment, offer ends December 31st, 2024. Now, you can see if your company qualifies for this special offer by heading to oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim. Alrighty then, every single day, I do it. Every single day, I make sure that I am up to date on everything that's happening in the tech world. It takes me, a couple of hours every single morning, but I really love to do this. And here are 5 things that you need to know is happening right now. We're going to start with a simple Google search that so many of us do that is really just turning out to be just a scam fest. I'm talking about when you go to Google and you're like, I need the best refrigerator. I want the best coffee. I want the best car, the best vacuum cleaner, whatever it may be. As a matter of fact, speaking of the best vacuum, that's what the Wall Street Journal researched recently, and they almost got scammed. One site claimed to be expert reviews, and they tested 87 different vacuums. It sounds legit. But the expert reviewer was just a stock photo of a guy in a mustache. And that same photo was used for washing machines and dog breeders. Yeah, kind of a scammy thing. So how do you avoid this? Number one, don't search for best whatever it is and start clicking on a whole bunch of sponsored ads. I mean, seriously, there are only 2 places you can go for trusted buying advice. And, I didn't say this. I didn't say this. This was actually CBS Sunday Morning said this, okay? This is not from me. So I don't want you to sit there and say, oh, Kim, it's always about you. You're always so self-serving. No. CBS Sunday Morning, when it comes to tech products, there's only 2 places you can go. Number 1, you go to Consumer Reports. Okay, you can trust them. Number 2, you go to Kim Komando. So if you ever need any help, you come to me or Consumer Reports. Moving on to number 2, people always ask me, what's the next big thing? And I want this so bad, but I have to wait till it comes down in price. LG has a 77-inch, truly transparent wireless OLED television. Okay. When you turn it off, the thing just disappears. It goes transparent. It's not even in the room. There's no cables. You can put this thing anywhere. It has something called Zero Connect wireless transmission box that hides nearby, and it just puts everything right on this screen. And you can move it, like I said, anywhere you want. How much do you think it is? Anybody? $60,000. Ooh. All right, moving on to number 3. Alex was a control freak. He made his girlfriend Melody move cities. He micromanaged her life. He cut her off from friends and family. She finally had enough. Then she dumped him. But Alex wouldn't let go. He started just appearing out of nowhere, watching her, following her. So how did he know exactly where she was at any given moment? Stalkerware. Okay. These apps are sold as parental controls, but abusers are using them to spy on partners. So how do you know if this is actually on your phone? You want to make sure that you look at any type of data usage. Maybe you have some new apps. Look at your app's permissions. And if you see anything that's strange, do a complete factory reset. Moving on to number 4, as many of you know, I had a Tesla. Oh boy, I know, and I know you love your Teslas. I know that you do, and I'm a car gal, and maybe that's the problem, is that I'm really not an EV person quite yet. But I had a Tesla Plaid because I figured I'm going to buy a Tesla. I'm going to buy the best of the best. I had that thing for like 2 weeks, and I was like, take it back. And I sold it because, I tell you, I wouldn't be here if I was on the Tesla. I mean, I tried that full self-driving mode, blew through a stop sign, almost hit a landscape truck. According to a new study by IC Cars, Tesla leads all brands with the highest fatal accident rate, 5.6 fatal crashes per billion miles. Right behind is Kia and then Buick. So let me tell you, if you're in a Tesla, do not use that full self-driving mode. I care about you. And finally, this coming in at number 5, Steve Harvey has died. No, he hasn't. It's all over the internet that Steve Harvey passed away today. Remember the legacy. Okay, the story was written by Trendcast News, which is not a legitimate news site. It was picked up by Newsbreak, the most downloaded news app in the U.S. that's controlled by anybody ready to go to the bonus round? Communist China. Yes. So if you start seeing this stuff all over your feeds, just know it's probably just a hoax. All right, here's something to think about. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like checking in your baggage at the airport without a lock. You think that your stuff is private, but you never know just who might be going through it. And when you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website you visit. They can legally sell this information without your consent to ad companies and tech giants, and then they use that data to target you. That's why I recommend ExpressVPN, because when you use ExpressVPN, the internet providers can't see your online activity. Your identity is anonymized by a secure VPN server. It's also encrypted for maximum protection. You just fire up the app and one click. That's it. Works on all your devices, phones, laptops, routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can be protected. Now, you can get extra 3 months free on a 1-year package by going to expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, coming up, so jam-packed. We're talking about a new scam that's spreading in public places, some Christmas cooking hacks, and then how you can track your luggage if you're traveling. And of course, we have just fantastic phone calls from folks like you, and you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, make sure that you enter to win that $500 Amazon gift card right now. Just do it. No purchase required. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Again, that's a $500 Amazon gift card. Aside from my show here, I do a podcast called Kim Komando Today. In case you haven't checked it out in your favorite podcast player, it's amazing. Just search for my last name, Komando. And it's a time where I get to sit down with some really interesting people. And this past week, Frank Abagnale joined me, and you may know his name. He's the force behind Catch Me If You Can, that Spielberg movie. No, he's not Leonardo DiCaprio. He's the guy who actually did all that stuff. Well, there's been a 400% increase in check fraud. And I thought, who better to tell us more about that than Frank himself? Because, well, he passed $2.5 million in fraudulent checks back in the 1960s. So here, take a listen. So, Frank, thanks for joining. So with check fraud making such a big comeback, wow, how do you think scammers are using, say, some of the old ways for check fraud that they're doing today?
Well, listen, first of all, I'm amazed because what I did 50 years ago is 4,000 times easier to do today. I mean, think about 50 years ago when I had to take some blank checks and paste and cut and type over with typewriters and cut decals out of model planes and put them on. Today, you can create just about anything with AI. I can create an image and open a bank account. I can create identification to go along with that and put it online to open an account. And of course, the old tools of check washing and check forgery are all coming back. A lot of this is because not all criminals are very smart when it comes to computers, so they fall back on the easy crimes. And check forgery has become very, very, very simple. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say that you write a check to ExxonMobil, you put it in your remittance envelope, you put it in your mailbox, you put the flag up. I come along, I take it out, I take the check out, and all I do is write on the back for deposit only to my account. As long as I make that deposit by a mobile phone or through an ATM, no human being will ever see it. So the check will clear because you have the money in the account.
Right.
The following month, you'll get a statement from Exxon saying you owe last month, and you'll call them up and say, no, that's not right. I do online banking. The check is right here. It cleared my account. And they'll ask you what the account number is on the back, and it's not their account. That's how simple it is to do because we have made it so simple through automation.
Yeah, see, that's really interesting because you would think that we would have so many, no puns intended, checks and balances that check fraud would be really difficult to do.
It's very simple to do, and washing checks is very simple, creating checks, altering checks. And they're not doing a good job at banks when they open accounts. They really don't know their customer like they should know their customer. And what happens is the small banks and the credit unions who get hurt, because those are the ones who end up taking that check or taking it for deposit. And their only recourse is to go back and try to sue the big bank. And if it's not a huge amount for the check, like 40,000, 100,000, the bank just kind of blows it off. So the small bank gets stuck with it. You can't believe how many, I dealt with this 20 years ago. I wrote a book in 2001 called The Art of the Steal. It was all about check forgery and counterfeiting and altering checks. And I can't believe that here I am 25 years later, still talking about it all over again, and it's back as an enormous crime. And I'm getting all these emails from people who say, come back and give seminars about check forgery. Well, that's what I did 20 years ago. I moved on to cybercrime and the internet and all the things that have come since then. But here this old crime has made a comeback because we've made it so easy to do.
So, so that's hard to believe. But think about it, this could be like a whole new gig for you, Frank. I mean, you don't have to recreate anything. You just pull the stuff out of the archives and you're like, okay, check fraud, here we are.
Or just simply go to my computer, bring up a very sophisticated check with a very sophisticated background blank, go to a corporate company's website, capture that logo, put it up in the left-hand corner, capture a bank's logo, put it down the bottom left, code in all the information, and in 15 minutes, I have a beautiful 4-color, gorgeous check that I can go deposit or cash somewhere.
So, Frank, do you write checks?
Very few checks.
Okay.
To pay my mortgage, pay an insurance company, but I use highly sophisticated checks. I designed a check 25 years ago for a California check company called Safe Checks. I don't have any interest in the company. I don't get royalties. They paid me to design the check. And today, 25 years later, millions of those checks, both personal and business, are used by insurance companies and corporations. They have never had a forgery. They've never had a counterfeit. They've never had a wash check. They never had anybody alter the check. So you can make a check very secure, but instead most companies just use basket weave check paper they buy at the office supply store. They don't spend a lot of money securing their checks, so they make it very easy for criminals to alter them, wash them, or change them.
Wait, I hope you're getting royalties on all those checks.
Okay. No, I don't get any royalties. I designed ADP's check. I designed Paycheck's check 25 years ago. But you can make a check very secure, but most companies don't. So I always look at something as a deterrent. If I get 2 checks out of the mailbox, one is very sophisticated with all of these security features, and the other one is simply a green basket weave check paper that's been laser printed. I'm going to do the easy check. I'm not looking for a challenge. I'm looking for an opportunity. So all I ever did is make it so hard for them to alter it, wash it, or counterfeit it that they didn't do it.
So what makes those checks so different?
All of the security features in them, so that if you wash the check, it destroys the check. You can't lift the toner off. There are ways to recognize from the bank that the check is counterfeited and forged. There are all these different security features that you can put in the document. And the difference is this: 25 years ago, that cost a little more money. So an insurance company said, I don't want to spend 10% more on checks because they're highly secure. Today, they mass produce those checks under high security operations and stored in high security places, and they imprint the company's logos and information on them. So they're about the same price as if you bought a cheap check, but it's just using the right tool to do the right job. That's all it really comes down to.
When you were talking,
if you make it easy for someone to steal from you, it's very unfortunate, but probably somebody will. So I always try to make it not easy.
Well, Frank, thanks for spending some time with us. I appreciate it. I do. You're awesome.
Always enjoy spending time with you.
You're always welcome.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
Hey, you can catch my entire chat with Frank wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Komando with a K, or head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. Hey, listen, we're not getting any younger, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Now, you can get 45% off and free shipping at getnativepath.com/Kim. Once again, that's getnativepath.com/Kim. All right, it's happened to a friend of mine. I mean, can I borrow your phone? And then they run off of it. I have to tell you more about that and also some Christmas cooking hacks and just the best phone calls here on The Kim Komando Show.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Hey, listen, AI tools aren't just for me and you. Cyber criminals are using them too, and that's why I use Total AV, award-winning antivirus protection for just $19 the first year. Here's what you need to do. Go to protectwithkim.com. Once again, protectwithkim.com. All right, so there are some ways that you can use your tech and make that cooking over the holidays a lot easier. I'll be passing along my tips. And also later on, it's always a bummer when you're on a trip. It's happened to all of us, I think, at some point. And then you go down to the baggage carousel because you want to get your luggage, and you're sitting there and everybody else gets their luggage except for you. Okay, you're like, problem. Yes, problem. So I'm going to tell you how you can track your luggage the easy and fun way later on. And of course, we have your phone calls. But before we get to all of that, what would you do if you were placed in this situation? Someone's like frazzled and they say, hey, I have to use your phone because my car won't start. Do you mind if you just hand me over your phone? And you're like, oh, okay, here, because I'm a good Samaritan. I'd like to help you. And then you hand over your phone and then they run off. Okay, because you just handed them $1,500 or $1,000 or anything like that. So if somebody ever comes up to you and says, it's an emergency, I need to make a phone call, can I have your phone? And you really truly want to help, what you do is say, what number do you want to call? Do not just hand over your phone. All right, let's see. John in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey there, John.
Hey there. Is this America's digital god or goddess?
It would be a goddess. Let me check. Yep, goddess it is.
Okay, and do you have a cup of tea? You ready?
Yes, I do. I'm ready.
Good. I have a question in my mind. I get on Facebook about 5 times a week friend requests from people I've never heard of or never dreamt of. And once in a while, there's something about them I think, well, maybe that's somebody I knew 30, 40 years ago. And I'm tempted to explore it further. And so the question behind this is, if you accept a friend request, how does it compromise you? And the second piece of this is, often the person will send me a text on Facebook saying, hey, you look really interesting and wonderful and an amazing person. And I'd really like to get to know you better, but I can't friend you. Would you request me as a friend? So those two pieces, one, unsolicited friend request, and two, the one that says I can't request a friendship from you. What's the danger there?
They're going to steal from you.
Okay.
That's what they're going to do. That. Yeah, I mean, here's how it's going to start out. Oh, John, you look like you're an amazing person. I bet you we could be such good friends if only we knew each other. And this is really something. And then you accept the friend request.
You sound so familiar.
Then you accept the friend request. And then you're chit-chatting, going back and forth, like, hey, I used to do this, and I live in Allentown. And the other person says, oh, yeah, I always loved Billy Joel's song about Allentown. And you're like, yeah, I'm so tired of hearing it. Then what it comes out is it will say, John, I have a friend who's really good at cryptocurrency.
You're right, yeah.
And that friend can generate you anywhere between 15 and 30% return on your money. And you're sitting there looking at your Fidelity account going, dang, last time I got 5%. I think I could take like $500 and at least try it.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So that's how it starts. And you give them the $500, and then over a couple of days, you are astounded at your new friendship. Because that $500 has turned into $2,000. And you're like, this is amazing. It's all pretend.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're like, oh man, I'm going to give you 10 grand. And they're like, you know what? Don't do 10. Let's go 30. Go 30,000. And this sounds really far-fetched, but I spoke to a man not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. He fell for this up to $100,000.
Wow.
Okay, wait. This is really something. 100 grand. And John, then they told him that in order for him to move his account to get his, because he's like at the 100 grand, he's like, I want my money. I'm going to take my money out. Okay. That 100 was worth 200, but in order for him to get the 200 out, he had to give them another $100,000 to make the transfer happen. Yes.
Yeah.
He gave him 200 grand.
That is devious and cruel, huh?
Then they split, and that was this guy's retirement money.
Wow.
Okay. He's out of luck.
So it's not just that we're so beautiful, handsome, and charming that we're being rewarded by God.
No, John. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that person.
I think you just saved me $100,000 or $200,000. Now I'm going to give you some information. You just send me the money that I saved. Can you do that?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So just what you can do is you can set your profile to be friends only.
Yeah.
Under your privacy settings, you can limit what other people see, so you won't get all those, friend requests. I mean, I probably have, I don't know. I probably have 400 or 500 friend requests that are sitting in my, I'm probably even more, my Facebook account right now. I just ignore it, whatever. But you do have to be careful. They only confirm every once in a while because they try to keep putting it right in front of your face. But yeah, just say no to all the new friends. You always have to be so careful on social media. I mean, bottom line, because there's just so many scammers out there. Let's see, Jesper in Richmond, Virginia. Hi there, Jesper.
Hey, Kim. Thank you so much for taking my call. Really appreciate your newsletter and just listen to you every week.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for your kind words.
So, Kim, I have a big question. I have several children here, and with the digital age, I would love to know what your thoughts are on the best phone monitoring app for children's phones.
Well, there are several programs out there. There's one that I do like called Qustodio. That's Qustodio. It's about $50 a year. But it lets you monitor pretty much every on the phone, text, calls, social media, photos, everything out there. You see it all. And you can also set screen times, and you can also give extra time if they do their chores or if they get 100% on a test or whatever it may be. There are also phones that are just made for kids, like the Bark phone. It actually looks like an iPhone, and it gives you more parental controls than maybe a Qustodio because it's actually baked into the phone itself.
Sure.
But either one of those. So maybe as the younger ones start coming up a little bit more, you might want to look at the Bark phone, or then for the other girls, just look at Qustodio at this point. Are you having any trouble with them yet?
Define trouble. Teenagers in general are troubled, I think, by definition,
That's true.
right?
That's true. Well, the reason why I ask is that if you go to komando.com/contract, that's a contract that I wrote, and I used it with my son when he was a teenager. And it kind of goes through the rules of the road, that these are things that I expect. These are things that you can do. These are things that you shouldn't do. If you mouth off at any given moment, I'm going to take the phone away because it's a privilege. When you get home from school, I want your phone and I need the passcode just in case I want to check it. And so it's hard. It's easier just to give the kid the phone and walk away. It is.
Most definitely.
But it is because they're going to fight you all the time. They will. But if you take a look at this, it's free. As I said, go to komando.com/contract, and it will kind of maybe a talking point with you and all your girls about this is the way that we're going to be handling the phone. These are things that I expect. A friend of mine, Jason, he was showing me his 15-year-old's phone. He bought her a light phone, which is a little tiny phone. It has no text messaging, no camera, nothing. It has basic text messaging, but you really don't want to use it, is the bottom line. But it's just a phone for her to use in case she ever needs to call up mom or dad or her sisters, brothers, whoever it may be. So there are more options now. But again, if you're looking for some parental control software, take a look at that Custodio and also that Bark phone for the new girls coming up. Jesper, thank you for your call today. Yeah, kids and tech. It's always a fine balance. Always a fine balance. I remember one time I was at work, and all of a sudden I started getting all these alerts from Xbox. And I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? So I call Ian. I said, Ian, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, nothing. Okay, whenever your kid says nothing and you know something's going on, it's like, okay, tell me what the drill is. And so he fessed up. He was trying to change the parental controls on the Xbox without realizing that anytime he made a change is that I automatically got a notification. Yeah, it was tough for him to be around tech with me as his mom, that's for sure. Hey, listen, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals who are just right for the role. And that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. And let me tell you, LinkedIn is not just another job board. They have this vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it just the best place to hire. It gives you access to professionals you're not going to find anywhere else. LinkedIn does all that while making the process easy and intuitive. And hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire. And LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make this process easier. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions. Now you can post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, you may not realize it, and you may be like, I'll just use my phone in order to set a timer. But there are so many things that your assistant can do. I mean, of course, on your phone, Siri or Amazon Echo or Google Home. So like, for example, if you need a recipe, you can just ask it for a recipe for like, I don't know, whatever, chicken pot pies, gingerbread cookies, and things like that. But I want you to give it a twist this year. Is that if you haven't tried the ChatGPT app on your phone, the new voice mode is really something because you can actually have a conversation with this ChatGPT. So you can say, I need a timer, or like, what should I cook first? Should I put the onions in before the carrots? And tell me more about this recipe. And what if I'm trying to not have so much sodium? How can I reduce the sodium intake? So of course, you can use your phone or your smart speaker assistants, but you might want to try to tap into AI. It's actually pretty darn sweet. All right, still to come, how you can track your luggage while you're traveling in the airlines this holiday season. You're on the Kim Komando Show. You know, during the holidays when there's so much to do and we're moving quickly to get it all done, it's super easy to make a mistake and just hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why it's important to visit privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni to remove yourself from the internet. That's privacykim.com. You're going to get 60% off. And let me tell you, I get no more spammy phone calls since I did. Incogni is fabulous. You want to go to privacykim.com for this deal, privacykim.com. Let's see, Ted in Whitefish, Montana. Hello there, Ted.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Fabulous. What's going on?
Well, I've listened to you a lot over the years, and I've heard a lot of good information, but I've got a situation that I could use some recommendations on. We live back in the woods. We have one internet service provider, very poor service, probably about 10 Mbps, so that when the snow stacks up and the temperature drops, we want to stay inside and watch a movie or two, and they spool constantly. Now, the first thought that I had, because there's no other provider, we have a real old modem router, and I was wondering if replacing that modem router would help with that at all, or do I need to go to a more expensive option?
Well, yeah, sometimes when you want to live in a beautiful place, there are sacrifices. Right?
I agree, and it's worth it, I think.
So, you know, this 10 megabits per second, that's pretty slow. The couple of options is that when you're using whatever streaming services, that if you get into the settings, there's usually an option for you to come down from HD or 4K to standard definition. And when you do that, it only needs 3 or 5 megabits per second versus 10. Okay, so look for something called like playback quality, and then again, you're going to move that to standard definition.
Great.
As far as having a router and a modem, and you've got the Duolingo thing going on right there, separating them out. Sometimes you can get better performance, but with such a slow connection, I don't know if that's really going to be making that much of a difference. But if the gear that you have right now, say, is over 3 years old, it's probably worth checking out. The other thing you can do is download movies ahead of time. And so it's for offline viewing, and we've got a lot of steps over at Komando.com to walk you through that. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to go on the streaming service, pick a movie, and download it. So it's not even going to be streaming. So you're not.
Oh, that sounds like a great option.
So that would work. The other thing, have you looked at Starlink?
Well, a few of my friends have it. I just was questioning the initial cost. I haven't really asked those specific details, but I know there are a few people in this part of the country that are starting to use Starlink, and they speak highly of it.
Oh, it's fabulous.
It's
fabulous.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, you're instead of 10, you're going to be between 50 and 200. So you're going to be in the fast lane. I have it as an internet backup in my home in Phoenix and also my home in California. Because, if I can't get online and I can't do a show, then I'm out of business, right? So,
yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, Cox Cable is not always the most reliable. Sorry, people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it is. But with Starlink, the gear is going to cost you I think they reduced the price of the gear. It used to be $500. I think it's like $350 now.
Oh, that's not too bad.
And
not
then,
too bad at all.
Then it's going to cost you $110 a month.
Which is less than we're paying right now for the poor service that we get, at least on a monthly basis.
How much are you paying now?
$140 a month for 10 Mbps.
Okay.
And that was up from 3, probably 2 years ago. The best we could get was 3. So.
No, I think it's moving day. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
It's time to get rid of the crappy service that you have now. And check out, you go to Starlink, you type in your zip code, it tells you whether or not it's available in your area. Some people say, oh, Kim, you talk about Starlink because they're an advertiser. You know what? They are not an advertiser. I wish they were, So this way I wouldn't have to pay for it in 2 places every single month. But they're not an advertiser. And if somebody's listening with Starlink, and we would love for you to be an advertiser. So anyway, I think the real solution, Ted, is to dump the ISP that you have now and just check out Starlink.
That's what it sounds like. I appreciate that, Kim.
You betcha. Anytime, Ted. Appreciate your call today. Hey, just a quick reminder that you can always get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. Yes, this show is available as a podcast in your favorite podcast player. Just search for Komando with a K. All righty then, still to come, how you can track your luggage, yes, with the airlines here on the Kim Komando Show. Now, first of all, you need to put an Apple AirTag if you're on Team Apple, or a Tile or a Chipolo if you're on Team Android, into your suitcase. So this way you know exactly where it is at any given moment. But a lot of airlines like United actually is interfacing with the AirTags. And what that means is if they do lose your luggage, that you can actually send them the exact location. American and Delta, they have baggage tracking services too, built right into the app. So once you check in your bag, use the airline's official app to follow your bag on its entire journey from check-in to the final destination. So you're going to get notifications along the way. Like, for example, when the luggage is on the plane, when it arrives at the destination, when it's at the baggage carousel. And then there's a map that shows you exactly where the luggage is at any given time. But there is a time when it doesn't report back. And that's when it's like in the underbellies of some of these systems at some of the bigger airports like Denver. But you definitely want to put a tracker in there. Alrighty then, Merry Christmas, everyone. And just a reminder, you can always find me at Komando.com.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
Thank you for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 3.
$6,233. Oh my gosh, could you imagine getting a notification that that is your monthly cell phone bill? Yes, $6,300. Wow. See, this guy in Texas was hit with this bill from AT&T for just using 3 gigs of data in the month of November. It normally cost him $250. So what came down? A $2 per megabyte data pay usage charge. Okay, that's about 3,000 megabytes, just spiraled out of control. He called AT&T and they're like, we don't know what to do. So how did he get the bill reversed? He took to Reddit. Yes, he went on Reddit and said, what is going on? And some VP from AT&T stepped in and went, okay, we got it. It was totally not your fault. You know, when you think about it, Reddit is really taking over Google. It's like this online buffet. You have so much to choose from. I mean, you just sit there and go from subforum to subforum. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And then after a while, you're like, I don't know if this was such a good choice. Not really sure. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Kim Komando Show because it's quite the quinky dinky. I just happen to be Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, and you are about ready to get more tech smarts than ever before because you need to be tech ahead or you're going to be left tech behind. And that's why you need to listen to every single hour of the Kim Komando Show. And you can find my award-winning show on over 400 stations from coast to coast, and we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And you can now get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. Yes, wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, and you can take me with you on the go. That's right. And whenever you have any questions, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. And it seems the older you get, the more savvier you become at saving money. And let me tell you, I'm cheap. I really hate to overspend on things, especially the necessities. But thanks to T-Mobile, I don't have to worry about overpaying for wireless service. So I've got more time and money to spend on other things. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a month per line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, Scam Shield Premium is included, which means fewer scam calls and more tools to help you optimize and organize your mobile life. Experience all this and more with T-Mobile. It's America's largest 5G network. And I don't want you to miss out. You can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for $30 a month per line at T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 or just drop by your local store to make the switch and save today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees. 25% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details. Capable device required for Scam Shield. Turning on Scam Block. My block calls you want. Disable anytime.
Alrighty, then every single day I do the heavy lifting for you. I go to at least 35, 40 different sources. I speak to industry insiders to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the world of technology. So this way you know, and here are 5 things you need to be updated with right now. And we're going to start with a guy by the name of Philip Tong. He's 45 years old. He's a biotech professional, father of 2. He wasn't feeling so good. So he turned to the telehealth service from Amazon. It's called One Medical. His symptoms, shortness of breath, coughing up blood, feet turning blue. Wow. Amazon's telehealth service said, I think you need to buy an inhaler. Okay. What? Hours later, Philip collapsed. He died at an Oakland hospital. Now his family's suing Amazon's One Medical for negligence, claiming the failed video consultation contributed to his death. He had joined One Medical to manage his diabetes and get care for, thought he was having the flu, but it wasn't enough. So here's the takeaway. If you're really sick, telehealth is probably not the best option for you. You know, just call 911 or take yourself to the ER. I mean, really. Telehealth is fabulous. You got a cold, something simple. But if you are truly, truly sick, you cannot depend on it. Moving on to number 2, Facebook and Ray-Ban, they got together and they pulled a AI glass out of their back pocket. So with these glasses, you can do a whole bunch of things. You can snap photos, you can record up to 60 seconds of video, and of course, all discreetly, and that has people kind of freaked out, like, how do I know I'm not being recorded? Well, you don't. Now, this past week, it got a feature that I thought, okay, now these Meta glasses really are something. Up until now, I was like, oh, Google Glass, they would call them those glass holes, things, whatever it was. I'm not really sure if we really need these. I mean, even Bose had glasses that had speakers built in. I tried them, and that was pretty lame. But now with live AI assistance, here's how you can use it. If you can't find your car keys, you can ask the glasses to find them for you as you walk around. Cooking dinner, talking about truly step-by-step guides. Real-time translation. If you're speaking to anybody in Spanish, French, or Italian, you just download the language ahead of time. So I actually went and bought them. And, for me to buy tech, that it's like, okay, now it is something. So anyway, I purchased the Meta glasses. I should have them, I don't know, probably tomorrow. I'm going to give them a shot for about a month, and then I'm going to report back to you. Yes, that means that Mark Zuckerberg is going to know every single thing in my life. Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. Well, I'll try them anyway. All right, moving on to number 3. You know what it is, the Zestimate. Okay, everybody goes onto Zillow to see what your house is worth. And by the way, if you have not claimed your home on Zillow, you really need to do that, because scammers are claiming other people's homes and trying to sell them, and it's just kind of this crazy story. But anyway, let's talk about the Zestimate. Is it really legit? Is it a good number for you to base it on? Well, I don't know if you remember, but during COVID, Zillow did this big thing like, we will buy your homes, okay? Because we know how much your home is worth, because we are using our proprietary web algorithm. And so they bought hundreds of millions of dollars of homes, okay? And just about lost the company in doing this, because what? The web algorithm is wrong, right? So if you ever see a Zestimate and you're like, that's not really legit, what you can do is, of course, after you claim your home, you can add all the pertinent details. But I don't want you to take a Zestimate as the real value of that property. The only real value of the property is how much somebody is willing to pay at any given moment for that house. Moving on to number 4, this is really frightening. Listen to this. It's called OIFR, Operator Initiated Facial Recognition. Okay, here's how it works. Police take a photo of you on their phone. An app compares that photo to this massive database, and in seconds, they know exactly who you are. What? Yes. The UK is the first place where they're testing it out. So basically, the police, they could be wearing glasses like those Meta glasses, and they just snap a picture, and then up on like a heads-up display, it says, oh yeah, that's Kim Komando. She's America's digital goddess, and she's a nice person. Not to be confused with the guy behind her who's actually a criminal, and he's wanted. So is it in the United States yet? Nobody's really talking about it, but it is in the UK. Speaking of cams, finally this coming at number 5, the next time you go to Walmart, the cashiers, the greeters, they might be wearing a body cam. Why? Because Walmart says it's going to help keep their employees safe. That's right. It's also probably for shoplifting too, because then they get all these videos from all different perspectives in the store. So just wanted to pass that along. I love going to Walmart late at night. I mean, think about this. It's like a mixture of so many different things. It's like the food section at the state fair. Okay. Then you've got Goodwill. And then it's like, I don't know, an episode of Survivor. Listen, we are not getting any younger. That's why you need to add collagen to your diet. It's just simple. It's a powerhouse. It's packed with protein and scientifically proven to help with bone health, tissue recovery, and even smooths out wrinkles, thickens hair, and strengthens weak or damaged nails. You see, as we age, our collagen levels drop, and that's where Native Path comes in. Their collagen formula is designed for quick absorption, making a difference you can feel and see. Let me tell you, it's as pure as it gets. One single ingredient, No GMOs, no fillers, no gluten, no dairy, or any of that extra stuff. And forget those horse-sized pills. With Native Path, it's easy to add it to your routine. You just mix it into your coffee, your smoothie, your oatmeal, whatever. No clumps, no funky taste. And right now, you can get 45% off and free shipping by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. Let's see, I got a new gift card scam I got to warn you about. There's always some scam, right? Also, how to make sure that Amazon Alexa is not keeping your recordings, and what's going on with Facebook ads, and they're spreading malware. And of course, we have your phone calls. You don't want to miss that. And then, of course, you have me, Kim Komando. Okay, we're at the end of the line here. So if you have not already entered to win the $500 Amazon gift card, take this as a sign. You need to do it now. No purchase required. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Let's see, Jackie, how about we start with you in South Bend, Indiana. Hi there, Jackie.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. You sound happy.
Oh, I'm just so excited to finally maybe get some answers.
Well, what's going on?
Well, I own a small business for the last 19 years. It's a cleaning company, and I use Google because that's what I started using, and that's what I know how to use. And I use Google Calendar to send out invitations to my crew. They get the client's name, how much they're going to get paid, where they're going, and what needs to be done when they get there.
Okay.
And it's arbitrarily ending events, just throwing a date out there and ending reoccurring events. So, and then it will load an old event over the same event, like updating it, but updating it with old stuff in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And my crew thinks I have a brain tumor. So it's very frustrating because things get lost, and it's like I'm not the one doing it. And so I have backed everything up that I put in my calendar with a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. Okay. There's a, okay. Let me ask you a question. When you started this cleaning business 19 years ago, how many clients did you have?
Not many. It started with, like a handful, and now we've got a lot.
So how many clients do you think you have? You think you have 100?
Close. We're close to 100.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I've got 15 people on the payroll now. It used to be 32 before COVID, but now it's 15.
Well,
so.
And it's going to come back. It will.
Slowly.
Yeah, no, it's really going to come back. All right, so... All right. What am I going to do with you, Jackie? All right. So first of all, there are techie things you can do. Okay.
Okay.
You can clear the cache of the calendar, and that may fix some of the calendar issues. You can adjust your settings with like default event durations. You can reinstall the app if you have it on your phone or whatever. But here's what small business owner to small business owner, is that one of the things I just told Joe here in the studios just like 5 minutes ago. Okay, I said, just because we have been doing it this way doesn't mean that this is the best way for us to do it now, because our business has changed.
Yes.
So this is the way you've been doing it, but it's not the best way to do it anymore because you have outgrown it, and now you're spending more time on minutia instead of thinking of new marketing ways to get those clients back. Okay?
Boy, that's true.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take you out of minutia land and put you back as a business owner. And
thank you.
Okay. And as a business owner, it's really easy for us to fall into that trap. I'm raising my hand because I'm guilty of it too. And I constantly have to remind myself that my time is better spent doing X, Y, or Z instead of...
I agree totally. But you get stuck because it's like you don't have time to learn something new, and you don't have time to research something new.
Exactly.
And that's why I thought I'd get a hold of you, because you really know that stuff.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at a system to replace the Google Calendar, and something that will allow you to grow your business to the next level and provide better service to your clients. So like, for example, a service that allows route optimization if they got to go from A to B. It's going to tell them how to do that. A service that lets the clients pay online. A service that allows the clients to book directly, and guess what? They get reminders and updates that they better cancel now or they're going to get charged anyway. So these type of systems will allow you to assign certain jobs to employees, track their time. You can know which homes are being cleaned at that particular moment because GPS tracking shows where the employees are located. Okay, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so you've got bigger options here. So once you have this, and let me tell you, it's a little painful setting it up. I know this. It is. But once you have it set up, give yourself like 2 solid weeks to put it all together. You're going to be looking at in 3 months, you're going to look back and you can see reports. You can see who's your best team member, because maybe that team member should be a team leader. Okay. And you're going to let the data speak to you, which is something that I've learned not too long ago, is that instead of my gut, I got to let the data talk to me and tell me what we're doing. Even as far as cleaning supplies, and everything that's with it. So I'm going to give you the names of some programs that I want you to look at.
Okay.
And then what I want you to do is to call me back and tell me which one that you think is going to be best for you. And then we can talk about, really, now that we've got this part of your life taken care of, how we can advertise your business in South Bend so that this way you can get to that next level. And maybe, doing businesses along with residential, but how do you identify new clients and new sources of revenue? So,
in all honesty, I have a bigger problem getting more employees than I do more clients. I turn down a ton of business, and we're a huge supplier at Notre Dame.
Okay, so that's even better because we can talk about how you find employees.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Okay. So, but we can, look at these and then let's call me back and we'll talk about how you find the people that you need to grow your business. So the first one's called Jobber, Jobber. Okay.
Okay.
The next one is called House Call Pro. I think that's the one you're going to like. House Call Pro.
Okay.
And a third one is called When I Work. But I really, and we're talking about as far as costs, some of these are like $3 a month per employee.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So these are super affordable. I mean, it's,
yeah.
And so do that. And as far as finding people to, like we talked about, as far as finding team members, I'm actually working with my sister on that because she's going to be hiring a whole bunch of teachers in Phoenix. And there's some really innovative ways that you can staff up nowadays. It's a lot easier than it's ever been. So Jackie, take a look at those 3 and call me back. And then we're going to get you out of minutia land. Yes. Alrighty then, are you tired of dealing with annoying passwords? NordPass ends the madness for good. You can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. NordPass remembers and autofills them for you. It's only $1.23 a month. I mean, seriously, your sanity is so worth it. That's nordpass.com/Kim, $1.23 per month. Exclusive for Kim Komando listeners, nordpass.com/Kim. All right, here's a scam that you really need to pay attention to. Scammers are slapping phony barcode stickers on the back of real gift cards. And then they sit and they wait for you to purchase the gift card with that code. And if you're not paying attention, all that cash goes straight to the thief. Okay, it's like, what is going on? I know, every time you turn around. So if you're going to be buying gift cards at the grocery store, I want you to do a deep dive and take a look at the back of the gift card. Rub your fingers over the barcode. If something doesn't feel or look right, just go ahead and ditch the card. Or better yet, buy them online and get a digital gift card. All right, let's see how to make sure that Amazon Alexa is not keeping your recordings because, they say she's not listening, but she is. I'm going to tell you all about it here on The Kim Komando Show.
This episode is brought to you by Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is the ultimate all-out warfare experience. Rip through the skies in aerial dogfights. Demolish your surroundings for a strategic advantage. Harness complete control over every action and movement using the Kinesthetic combat system. Drop into multiplayer with your squad, or fight furiously as a member of the Dagger 1-3 squad in a gritty, adrenaline-fueled single-player campaign where you'll defend a world on the edge of collapse.
You know, LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the hiring process easier. And they even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions. So you can post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right. You know, they say that the Alexa is not listening, the Echo speakers. And I write about it, you know, all the time. And I always love when I write about it and I get some email from a PR rep at Amazon who says, Kim, the Amazon Echo is not always listening. It's only listening for the wake word. I'm like, well, isn't it always listening then? Or, I mean, what's going on with that? Let's see and talk about that, as well as some not safe for work Facebook ads that you're going to be looking at going like, that looks interesting. And of course, we do have a lot of phone calls from folks just like you. Before we get to that, this is something that you may not have thought about before, that, you know, you can try out a laptop at home and return it if it doesn't work for you. Okay, but you have to know a few things. Okay, the typical return policy is anywhere between 15 days and 30 days. Then you also have to be careful. Watch out for any shipping or restocking fees. I mean, some charge as much as 25% of the laptop's price. So, where should you buy? Costco and Walmart, they both offer a 90-day return policy with not so much of a hassle. Best Buy, I wouldn't do it because unless you pay for their pricey membership option, the return window is like 15 days. What about Amazon? They give you 30 days if the laptop is damaged or unopened, but if you've used it, it's going to cost you a 15% restocking fee. But here's a pro tip. I recently bought a laptop on Amazon. I didn't like it and sent it back. It was an HP. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this thing? And then they want to charge me the 15% restocking fee. So I hopped on chat with Amazon and I said, listen, you know, look at me. I'm such a great customer. I've been on Amazon since, would you believe, 1999. Yes, I've been an Amazon customer. And they're like, okay, Kim, forget the restocking fee. So you might be able to get around it too. All right, let's see. Dean in Palm Springs, California. Hi there, Dean.
Hey, Kim. How are you? Thanks for taking the call.
You betcha.
Enjoy your show and newsletter.
Thank you.
Appreciate the security alerts and tech tips and puns and jokes.
No. All right. Yes. Did you hear that in the studio? Somebody loves my jokes. Thank you. Thank you.
So I have a Capital One credit card. And with that, at some point, I signed up with their credit simulator, sort of keeps an eye on your credit and lets you know where it's going. It's called CreditWise. Mm-hmm. And all's well for a few years here. And then recently, I've been getting a lot of notices, you know, things like, hey, we found your name and driver's license associated with an old address on the dark web, and we're docking you a point. And those will repeat, like it's the same thing for 6 or 7 of them. And according to them, the points have been dropping 30 points, in the last month or so. And I'm wondering what, if that's actually happening on my credit, or is it just a CreditWise simulator?
I think it's just that simulator. Let me tell you, all of us have information on the dark web. Everybody. We all do. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to that website, Have I Been Pwned? You just type in any email address that you've ever had in your entire life. It's like, yep, on the dark web. It sure is. Because of all the data breaches. Every time you turn around, there's another company. It's almost like white noise. I'm almost hesitant to put it in the newsletter anymore because it's like, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. And then, and then we don't hear about it. It's not like they had a data breach yesterday and we know about it today. It's like, no, we had this back in March. Okay. And you're like, oh, thanks for letting me know. That's pretty awesome of you. It's so good. I don't mean to speak light of it, but this CreditWise, they're telling you that there is the potential for identity theft. And that's, maybe they're trying to sell you, I don't know, identity theft services down the road, or maybe that's tied to it. I don't know. But the bottom line here is that with so much of our personal information out there, is that what we all need to do is a simple credit freeze. And it takes, 15 minutes to do it now through all 4 credit bureaus. Not 3 anymore, there's 4. So you've got Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and something called Innovis, Innovis. And it's free. It's not going to remove your information from the dark web, but it's going to prevent any scammers and fraudsters from actually using your data in order to damage your credit. I'm not a Capital One subscriber, so I don't really know exactly what this CreditWise does. But if this simulator is saying that if it's on the dark web, then you are more at risk for identity theft, which is true. Okay, I mean it's true. The best way to get around that is for you to just simply freeze your credit. And what that means is that nobody can get any credit in your name. And then the downside is that is if you ever apply to credit is that you have to actually go online, click a few buttons, prove who you are, and then they'll unfreeze the credit. But it's remarkably easy to do this. I mean, so many times people will say to me, oh, I don't have time to freeze my credits. I don't know the links. And, I'm just going to whine. Okay. No, we have all the links at Komando.com. Really. You just go to Komando.com, type in freeze credit. Tip's going to pop up. You just click those links. Boom. All done. That's it. You froze your credit because, as I mentioned, all of our stuff, yes, our stuff is all on the dark web. Dean, hey, thanks for your call and your kind words about the show and the newsletter. We all appreciate that. All right, let me tell you, there's a lot of outdated tech myths out there, like magnets erase your data, and overcharging your devices kills the battery life, and you can't get a virus on your phone. Yes, you can. You see, your phone is a huge target for malicious software. Just think about all the private and financial info you have on it. Now, here are some symptoms that spell trouble. Your phone is slower than usual. Maybe your apps are crashing. The battery is draining faster than usual. Now, I know, and you know, your phone has some built-in safeguards to protect you, but the more protection you can get, the better. So if your phone is not protected by antivirus software, now's the time to get Total AV, the antivirus software I use and recommend. It protects you wherever you browse, keeps your phone running efficiently, and spots those shady websites for you. All that for just $19 the first year. So stop waiting for the worst to happen. Go to protectwithkim.com right now for Total AV's 5-star antivirus protection for just $19 a year. Protectwithkim.com. Once again, that's protectwithkim.com. All right, Amazon says that your Echo device is not listening all the time. But yeah, it is listening. I mean, you may have heard me tell the story. I was working on a commercial real estate deal, and then all of a sudden it's like she starts saying like, oh, what was that? How much is that? I'm like, what? Yes. Okay. And then I went into the recordings, and she had like recorded everything before that. And so it's really crazy stuff. Now, Amazon says it keeps recordings too, and this is what they say. Improve the accuracy of your interactions with Alexa. Okay, that's nice. If this bothers you, you can set your recordings to automatically delete. You can have it set so Amazon never even gets your recordings. But they kind of trick you a little bit because it's in the Alexa app, and you got to dig around a little bit. And that's where you want to find an option called Manage Your Alexa Data. That's where you can stop the recordings, and you can also choose how long to save the recordings. If you need the exact steps, we have them free for the taking over at Komando.com. But again, in case you want to just nosy around in that Alexa app, look for something that says Manage Your Alexa Data. Alrighty then, still to come, some more great phone calls you can't afford to miss, and also what's going on with Facebook and not safe for work ads and malware. Yeah, it's a big warning I have to pass along here on the Kim Komando Show. FBI data shows that the holidays see a sharp rise in burglaries and theft, and you need SimpliSafe. Right now, you can save 50% on a new SimpliSafe system with a select monitoring plan. Here's what you need to do. Go to simplysafekim.com. Simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. All right, let's see. Stuart in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. Hello there, Stuart.
I've been a coffee roaster for 11 years now, and just decided this past July to take it to the next level, and that being to start a small business.
Awesome.
And so, in so doing, I've gotten some great responses, some great feedback, and so now I'm at a different level where I need to take it up another notch. So I decided to give you a call and ask, how can I best use social media to leverage the growth of my business?
Do you have any social media accounts now?
I do. I have a Facebook account with the shop and an Instagram account.
And then how are you using it?
You know, I had just hired a young lady to help me optimize the business side of it. I've been a personal user of Facebook and Instagram for a short time, but Facebook for a number of years.
For sure.
And so just trying to make that switch, change mindset to, to grow the business.
Well, what you need is what's called a content strategy, social media content strategy. And you can always plug this into ChatGPT and say, I need a social media content strategy. And what you need to do is you need to tell it, be a marketing expert and be an advertising expert. And tell me, what kind of content should my coffee roasting company put out there? And it's going to talk about posts, behind the scenes, customer testimonials. Those are always great. But behind the scenes is really, if you could have like a short, or a reel, a story, where it actually shows you roasting the coffee and maybe some funny things going on in the background. You want to use hashtags that will generate attention as well. The other thing too is that giveaways are fabulous. Have you ever wondered, like, why does Kim Komando give away an iPhone? Why am I giving away a $500 Amazon gift card right now? Why is that? Okay, the reason why is because it generates a lot of shares. And people love to enter things. Now, the quality of the person who enters a contest is not as good as the quality of somebody who comes into your store 3 times a week. But if you have 100, what my experience is, we've got 100 of those entries, you probably have, in my case, it's about 20 to 35% who actually stick with it. Okay?
Right.
If you have any local influencers, local celebrities, radio hosts, whatever it may be, everybody has been saying that radio's dead for years. I've been hearing that for the last 25 years. Radio's dead. Radio's dead. You know what? It ain't dead. It's not. Okay. They said it was going to be dead when television came out. It's going to be dead with the internet. It's going to be dead with podcasting. Since 1940. We've been talking about endorsement radio, meaning that you've heard me talk about SimpliSafe, right? You've heard me talk about NetSuite, about Oracle.
Yes.
Incogni, whoever it may be. Because that transference of trust adds to companies' bottom lines.
Yes.
And so, so you can do all the social media, but I want you to forget that we have offline too. How fabulous is that, you live in a wonderful town and it's affordable. It's people in your community. You could have the radio station do an event at your store. And so you have a lot of possibilities there too. So I just wanted to, and of course I'm a big proponent. I mean, that's how I make my money, but that's how, our renewal rate for our national advertisers is roughly 90%.
Wow.
Okay. So it's working for them.
Yes.
So, because if it wasn't working, they'd move on. They just would.
Right.
It's just the way that it is. So, so do the content strategy, reach out to your local radio station and tell them you like to drop off some coffee to some of the more popular hosts and some muffins, whatever else you have. And you want to get their feedback, see if they really like it. And you know what? They are going to love it. I just know, Stuart. I just know. And thanks for your call. I love taking your phone calls. Greg in Medford, Oregon. Hi, Greg.
Hello. Good
Welcome.
afternoon. Thank you. So I've got a Windows 7 machine, which is functioning just fine for the most part. And it's just me here at home. And so I don't have a great need, much power or anything, but it's probably time to upgrade to probably a Windows 11 or something along that line. And so probably what I'll end up doing is probably just, getting a Dell or an all-in-one or something like that. But making the transition from the old machine to the new machine, although I'm not completely computer illiterate, maybe it might be wise to have some help. And I'm just wondering if you have some advice on that.
So as far as who to hire, how to find somebody, what to have them do, and, word of mouth is the best ways. I mean, if there's anybody that you say, hey, is there a tech guy, gal that can come over and help me do some things? Okay.
Sure.
You can always check out somebody on Yelp. And, there are the big brands like Geek Squad. I just want you to be careful of that because they're always trying to upsell you because that's how they make their money. So it's like, okay, yes, you need that too. Yes, you need that too. Yes. I'm like, no. I just want you to do this one job. That's all I want to do.
Sure.
Make sure that you have a backup. You know that. You might want to consider doing a full system image just in case. If you're going to have anybody working on your computer, I don't like to give a complete stranger administrative rights because, that's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to give them a guest account. You could also password protect an admin account, but I would prefer that you give them like a general maintenance account. That's where you can restrict access to certain drives, certain folders that may contain your personal information, right? So, because again, you don't really know who this person is that's coming over to your house and what they might have access to. I don't need to do this anymore because, Greg, I have an IT genius. So,
fair enough. Yeah.
I'm sorry you don't. I think everybody needs an IT genius or one or two.
Everybody needs a smart friend.
Yes, exactly. I have two, John and Jeremy.
There you go.
and so, but if I didn't know the person, I would probably put the two computers in the kitchen.
Okay.
And just stand right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just look over the shoulders, and then it might be a good opportunity for you to learn too, because as you're standing there and as you're transitioning from the old to the new, is that you can ask them, hey, is there anything really special about Windows 11 that I didn't have on Windows 7? What do you recommend for this? And how can I set up various accounts? And how do I get rid of the ads that Microsoft is going to be shoving down my throat on the start menu? Oh, wait, you can't do that. Yeah, ads are popping up all over Windows, Greg. You're going to be super excited to know that. Thanks for your call today, sir. Now, if you need my help, the best place for you to ask for it is by going to Komando.com. That's the official homepage of the Kim Komando Show, with a K, of course. And yeah, I know. Right now, somebody's going, I wonder if she goes Commando. Like, I don't know what that means. And I've been hearing that in my entire life. By the way, the answer is yes. Go to Komando.com, and then there's an Ask Kim link at the top. Once again, that's Komando.com. Ask Kim. I read every single note that you send me through there. Again, Komando.com. Ask Kim. Hey, still to come, what's going on with Facebook naked ads? What? Yeah, you're not going to believe that here on the Kim Komando Show. So you're on Facebook and you see an ad of a beautiful woman, but the most interesting parts are blurred out. And you're like, I wonder what would happen if I click on this. The hackers and scammers are going after you. And when you click that ad, you're going to download some malware, giving hackers access to your credit card details, your cookies, your social media account passwords, and all this other stuff. And you're not going to be able to beat them. Most of the time, they're going to change your password, and then they're going to turn on all the security measures to deny you access on anything that you click on. So if you think that some beautiful woman is lonely over the holidays and she wants to show you her most interesting parts, if you could just click, yeah, maybe you deserve to get all kinds of malware. I'm not sure. Hey, just a reminder, last chance for you to enter to win that $500 Amazon gift card. Head to winfromkim.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners, meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
$500,000 worth of jewels. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. A tourist in New York City was carrying a briefcase filled with $500,000 worth of gems and jewels. And he was in Queens. He stopped by for a slice of pizza, got a little hungry. And as he left the restaurant, two guys jumped out of a black SUV. They grabbed his briefcase, they roughed him up, and then they just sped off. But here's where it gets good. The guy had an idea to toss an Apple AirTag inside the briefcase. So police were able to track the jewels, they busted the crooks. But seriously, who walks around New York City, Queens, carrying a briefcase with $500,000 in gems? Oh my gosh. Luckily, law enforcement was there too. Ready for it? Break the case. Oh, that was bad. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are about ready to get tech ahead, because otherwise you're going to be left tech behind in the digital dust. Because after all, it's my job as America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And let me tell you, this is the best show. It's the biggest show. It's the award-winning show you can find on over 420 top stations across the United States. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a commercial-free podcast. That's right. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, of course. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members, serving in 175 countries. And I just love this. 200 ships at sea also get the Kim Komando Show. Now, let me tell you, great sponsors help to make this show possible. I always give out promo codes and unique addresses, and you're sitting there saying, oh, Kim, what is that address? What's that promo code? Fear not, dear one. Just go to one spot, komando.com/sponsors. And I'd like to thank Incogni for helping to make this show possible. You know, during the holidays, when there's just so much to do, we're all moving so quickly to get it all done, it's easy to make a mistake and then just hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why it's so important to visit privacykim.com, and that's where you're going to get my deal on Incogni, to remove yourself from the internet and the dark web. And you're going to get 60% off right now at privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. You know, every single day, rain or shine, weekday, weekends, national holidays, I am online talking to industry insiders to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about right now, because it's going to impact your life. And we're going to start with number 1. Back in November of 2022, that's when I predicted the death of the website. I did. Yep, over 2 years ago. People thought I was like crazy. You should have seen the notes I was getting from people like, oh, Kim Komando, you finally lost it. Oh, Kim, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Kim, I like this one. AI is just a fad. With the exception of most online stores, the web page is now dead, because you no longer need to visit a website to get the answers to your questions, because AI will just give you any answer that you want, just bypass all the websites altogether. So if you're not using ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google's AI-powered search, I mean, you can instantly get the answer that you want. So that's why web traffic has just plunged. And web publishers everywhere are facing this unexpected death. And instead of SEO, or search engine optimization, here's what you need to know about. There's a brand new field called AI content optimization. What? ACO. That's right. And basically what's going to do is use artificial intelligence to figure out, how do you get the AI chatbots to actually write about you and then link to your website or mention your website? Again, it's called AI content optimization. That's going to be a big thing next year. All right, moving on to number 2. This Christmas, it's easier than ever to just buy gifts that you can't afford, even if you have a few blemishes on your credit. And of course, with no Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or any other major credit card, you can still buy whatever you want. What am I talking about? BNPL. Yeah, because everything in the tech world always has an acronym. That's Buy Now, Pay Later. And basically, it's services like Afterpay, Affirm, Klarna, and there are even more BNPL options on just about any online site. But here's the deal. I want you to check the fine print for the interest rates, because you're not going to believe this, but some of the rates are like 36%, late fees 25%. And regardless of what you may hear, buy now, pay later can really affect your credit. So if you can't afford it now, you're probably not going to be able to afford it later. Moving on to number 3, selfies have been declared a public health risk. What? Yes, that's right. I don't know if you know this, but here's a little fun fact for you. The word selfie actually originated in Australia back in 2011. And by that time, 33,000 deaths by selfies were already being reported each and every year. But these selfie photographers, they just mindlessly walk into traffic. They back up too close to the edge of a cliff. They've died while standing on train tracks, posing with rattlesnakes, yikes, holding loaded guns to their heads, wow, getting hit by landing jets, that's true. The average age of a fatal selfie victim is just 22, which it's only right that Australia is now leading the way for declaring selfies to be a public health risk. Yes. And what does that mean? Warning labels. Yep, we're going to have warning labels on our phones about taking a selfie in a dangerous situation. Moving on to number 4, how much do you think somebody can charge for your personal information on the dark web? Like, for example, your Instagram name and password, it's pretty cheap. It's about $14. Your Facebook sign-in credentials, $12. Twitter is $10. TikTok names and passwords, pretty cheap at $8. Now, the big kahuna is LinkedIn. LinkedIn credentials, they are the big prize. Each name and password is worth about $45. Why? Because with your LinkedIn login details, an attacker can easily just impersonate you. They can contact all your connections in your name. They can decline job offers, respond inappropriately to messages. So if you haven't changed your LinkedIn password for some time, consider this like the sign that you need to do that like right now. And finally, this coming in at number 5, it's been a really rough year for rental property owners because we're all choosing hotels over Airbnb and Vrbo's. And with all these new products being sold on Amazon, look for the hotel trend to continue. What I'm talking about, new products like hidden cameras. Now, I ran across one the other day, and we're actually going to buy one. And I'm going to install it, and I'm going to do a whole YouTube series about it because this is really crazy. It's a spy camera that's disguised to look like just an ordinary bathroom outlet because a lot of Airbnbs and Vrbo's problems are these stories of these creepy hidden cameras. But this ordinary bathroom outlet, okay, here's what it says, the description about it on Amazon. This spy camera utilizes the existing 120-volt AC power inside your wall. Just replace with your existing receptacle. Okay. The top outlet works as normal. The bottom outlet contains a camera lens, Wi-Fi enabled, view live video and remote playback from anywhere in the world. Oh my gosh, isn't that nuts? So, let me tell you something. If you're out and about and the top outlet works, or just one of it works, keep in mind it could have a hidden camera in the bottom or the top outlet. You just never know. So if you're going to be renting an Airbnb or Vrbo over the holidays, here's what you need to do. Number 1, we've got links to the best RF detectors on Komando.com. Just search for RF detector. It'll pick up these hidden cameras. You can also look for MAC addresses inside the router settings. If you don't know what that is or how to do that, again, the steps are over on my website. And you can also just shine your phone's flashlight, make sure the room's dark, and what you want to look for are any type of reflections, because the bottom line, Santa isn't the only one watching. That's right. Hey, let's talk about over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle. You know, it's the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. You get real-time insights and forecasting, so you're peering into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. Now, you don't have to be a CFO, by the way, to download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning for free, but you have to go to this address, netsuite.com/Kim. Once again, that's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, coming up, we're talking about how you can make some money reselling Amazon and Walmart returns. What's the best TV to buy this time of year? Later on, the new package delivery scam that's spreading like crazy. And let me tell you, we just have the best callers ever. And you got me, Kim Komando. All right, here's where you need to go. Winfromkim.com. Once again, winfromkim.com. No purchase required, because I'm going to be giving you, but you have to enter to win, of course, and win a $500 Amazon gift card. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. All right, let's get started with all your phone calls. Danielle in Chicago, Illinois, listening to us on the Big WLS. Hi there, Danielle.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Anytime. What's going on?
So I have an iPhone 12, and I am wondering if I want to upgrade it to like a 15. I don't need a fancy 16. Solely for the camera, though.
So let's see. So you don't want to go to a 16?
I'm just being cheaper than a 16.
Yeah, I get you. Well, anytime you start looking at technology, if it becomes, say, 2 or 3 generations old, then you really definitely want to start looking at an upgrade. And when you start looking at the difference between a 12 and a 15, it's pretty substantial. Number one, what I like about the 15 versus the 12 is for your safety. I know you asked about the camera, is that it has that SOS button. So if you're ever in a bind and you don't have any bars, then you can use satellites to send a text message. But when we start looking at the camera, it's going to be a big jump for you. So if you take a selfie with the 12, let me just tell you, you're going to look a lot better than on the 15 because the 12 is a 12 megapixel. The 15 is 48.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So your details, it's going to be a sharper image. It has better zoom. It has a 2x optical zoom. So if you are, taking pictures for eBay or something like that, or you just like to zoom in on stuff, you can do that. Has better low light performance, and it has a better chip on the inside for that camera too. So it's definitely worth upgrading.
Awesome.
And so if you have some money laying around and you can do a trade in, and they are still probably offering they being the carriers and the sites very safe, probably still offering pretty good deals on the 15. And you're smart in waiting because the prices of these phones, they always go down when a new model is released. And so now the 15s, they're kind of looking at going well, I guess it's okay, but you really want the 16, don't you? I mean, don't you want to have the latest and greatest? Well, no, the 15 is a definite step up and, worth the money. But speaking of the iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, in case you want to win one of those, just head to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. I'm giving one away right now, and I could be calling you and telling you that you're a winner. But if you don't enter, I can't call you. Winfromkim.com, no purchase required. Boy, this looks like a great question. Mark in Kingman, Arizona. Hi, Mark.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
Fantastic. What's going on?
Well, I'm a former radio guy. I spent 10 years on the air with a talk show, and I want to get into the podcasting world. Apparently, that's the wave of the future. So I really have no practical knowledge with it. So I'm wondering how to get into it, how to monetize it, where to host it, something legitimate.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Well, it's going to be a bit of a variety show, probably politics, history, American history, world history, that kind of thing. It's going to be a targeted market.
And then how many podcasts have you listened to so far?
A bunch.
Okay, good. Because I can't tell you how many people, Mark, I ask about, and they're like, well, I haven't listened to any yet. Like, okay.
Oh, no. I listen to a lot of them.
All right, good. So you know the drill on how it all works.
Yeah.
And because you've been in radio, and you do have a great voice, I can tell.
Thank you very much.
Is that it's, that's also a big part of it. So there are different ways. After you do your podcast, you get it all down. Podcast length, it used to be anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, but now research is saying that podcasts can actually be longer because people are starting podcasts when they're in the house, then they're listening to in the car. And so by the time they get to work, it may be 40, 45 minutes. You have different platforms that are going to host it for you. You don't want to host it yourself. You want to have somebody else do it for you. Okay.
Like iHeart.
I would not use iHeart. I would use Libsyn, Libsyn. That's who I'm using right now. And what they're going to do is Libsyn is going to put you on Apple, Spotify, Google, Tuned In, iHeart, all the rest, Amazon.
Okay.
So what they do is that you do a deal with Libsyn, and you're gonna upload your file to Libsyn, and then you're gonna say, you know what, you can put ads in it for me until I sell the ads, and then they're gonna take a piece of the action. It starts at $5 a month for 50 megs of storage, and then you get analytics, and then it tells you how many people are downloading, how many people are listening. And so then you start building your product, building your base. Libsyn's competitor, they have a few. One is called Buzzsprout. And then you also have Megaphone, which is really big. Megaphone is part of Spotify.
Oh, okay.
So what I don't want you to do is go into like the little tiny companies. So that's why I want you to stay with the bigger companies. Okay, so you do your pod, you figure out who's going to host it, distribute it, and then you also have to put your podcast into all the directories too. So you're going to have to log on to Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube Music. Now it's not Google Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeart, and wherever. And then that's where you get that URL, and that's where you're also going to plug that into Megaphone. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. So if you build it, I will tell you they will not come. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's where you really have to get into social media, promote your episodes wherever you can. You know this from being in radio that, you have to build your audience, build a list. Is this enough to get you started?
Yes, it is. And I just wanted to say I'm from the old days of the tickler file. So, yes, I'm well aware of keeping lists.
Yes, exactly. So as you get this going, and you start thinking about other venues or things that, if you have questions about, how to sell the ads or what kind of CPM that you should be looking for on a podcast. I mean, the CPMs are all across the board. That's cost per thousand, folks, in case you're not knowing about that. That's how much it's going to cost you to get 1,000 downloads, which isn't necessarily listens, which is a whole nother story. But, you can look anywhere from $3 to $4 to up to $30 or $40 CPM, depending upon what the personality is or who the person is and what exactly the content is. So, Mark, keep us posted on your progress, and you can do this, folks. You can do it. I actually looked this up the other day. How many podcasts do you think are on Spotify? How many podcasts? How many different podcasts? Just throw a number out there. You ready for it? You're wrong. 4.7 million podcasts. On Apple Podcasts, there's around 2.5 million podcasts. But this is where it gets super interesting. As of June of this year, Apple Podcasts had about 460,000 podcasts. Okay, remember the number was 2.5, but they really only have 460,000. Well, it's still a lot of podcasts that are active, meaning nearly half have 3 or fewer episodes. So if you're looking to get into the podcast business, you have to always produce a podcast on a regular basis. Hey, are you tired of dealing with annoying passwords? NordPass ends the madness for good, so you can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. And right now, you can get a deal over at nordpass.com/Kim. It's just $1.23 a month. That's nordpass.com/Kim. All right, Apple and Google Maps are great for driving directions, but if you don't have a cell connection, what good is the map? Because it's not going to be moving with you. That's why I want you to make sure that you always, if you're going somewhere, driving around for the holidays, make sure that you have offline maps. And so basically, you're going to look for the more or the 3-dot menu. Tap that, and you can download an offline map. And by the way, if you're traveling overseas and you're paying for data, having your maps available offline is going to save you from those expensive roaming charges. Yeah, one time I came back from Peru, I had like a $700 cell phone bill. I was like, yikes, I knew better. All right, still to come, this new package delivery scam is pretty sinister. I'm going to be warning you about that and have a lot more here on The Kim Komando Show. Have you ever wondered what happens to all the returns from Amazon and Walmart and Target and other places? Well, you can actually buy them, and that's what a lot of people are doing. And then they're reselling all that stuff online. We're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. And of course, we have your phone calls. But before we do all that, let's talk about if you're in the market for buying a TV this time of year. I only want you to buy an OLED screen, okay? They're the brightest, they're the most vivid, they're the sharpest, they are the high contrast screens that you can get. Now, the video motion is what's called ultra smooth. So as you're shopping, I don't want you to get suckered into like, oh, it's a $300 TV, it's a $500 TV. Okay, the video that you're going to see on the cheap imports, it's going to look all washed out and super bland. And so again, you're only going to get an OLED screen. Let's see, Sharon in San Francisco. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for your call.
I am a very new fan, and I was referred from a friend who is just an avid follower.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank that person. Wonderful.
Well, I shall. I do that frequently as a friend. I am just so thrilled that we've got a digital expert out there in this overwhelming, ever-changing, impersonal world that we call being online.
Yeah, for sure.
So I am a vibrant widow, and I have been using one of the online dating apps for around 3 years or so, called Match.com. You may have heard of it.
Oh, for sure.
And recently, I went on to see what faces might be there to greet me. And, Kim, they were all blurred out. And I thought, boy, this must be a tech issue with the site. So I just went back in a day or so and looked again, and the same issue. So I checked on my account and saw that it needed a refreshed credit card for payment.
Okay.
I put in that new card. They accepted my payment. And then I could not get access to my own account. I was trying to log in with user and password. Nothing was being accepted. And so I was trying to get a password reset. I couldn't get that to happen. So I find out, how do I get to customer service for Match.com? I learned that there's only an email address.
Nice.
To send a question to.
I love that.
No
love that.
chat.
That's so good.
No chat, no live person. And so I do email, and of course their volume's very heavy right now, they said, so it would take 2 or 3 days to get a reply. I did get a reply, and it was very much a canned response that did not answer my question whatsoever.
So somebody must have turned you in for something. Somebody flagged your account as being bogus, fraud,
yeah,
whatever
possibly.
it may be. And, at this point, with your credit card company, of course, you can always, dispute.
Which I'm disputing.
Yeah, just dispute that. Well, yeah, and, there's so much fraud on the dating sites, and
really,
and they just, I'm sure they're just like, you know what, she's banned. That's it. We don't know if it's real or not, and they don't want to give you a reason, because then if you lawyer up, then the reason's gonna be like, oh, I got emotional distress because you told me this, So that's why all these canned responses are canned because legal has approved them.
I understand.
And so nobody will vary from that. You can always file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I mean,
right.
You might get a response quicker from them than you will actually from the company, because they don't want that FBBB rating.
Yes.
And then you find out, what is their company slogan? What is it that they keep saying over and over in their shareholder meetings?
Yes.
And then you put that, you say, Dear Bob or Mary, whatever it is, and you say that Match.com provides a superior service to any other dating platform in the universe, end quote. Okay. I haven't found that to be the case. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you've been banned, their bots and their legalese, it's going to be really hard to get back. Sharon, thank you for your call today. And thanks for being a new fan. That's awesome. All right, let's switch gears just a little bit. There's a lot of outdated tech myths out there, like magnets will erase your data, and overcharging your devices kills the battery life, and you can't get a virus on your phone. Well, yes, you can. I mean, think about this. Your phone is just, a computer, and it's a huge target for malicious software. And just think about all the private and financial info that you have stored on it. And here are some symptoms that totally spell trouble. Like, for example, your phone is slower than usual. Maybe the apps are crashing. Your battery's draining faster than usual. Now, let me tell you, your phone has some built-in safeguards, but the more help you can get, the better off you are. And if your phone is not protected by antivirus software, now is the time to get Total AV. It's the antivirus software award-winning that I use and recommend, and it just protects you wherever you browse, keeps your phone running efficiently, and spots all those shady websites for you. All that for just $19 a year. So stop waiting for the worst to happen, and here's what you need to do. Go to protectwithkim.com, and you're going to get Total AV for $19 for the first year. I mean, what a bargain. Up to 5 devices. Protectwithkim.com. Alrighty then, have you ever wondered what happens to all the merch that customers send back to Amazon and Walmart? Okay, because even the stuff that gets returned, they're still going to want to sell it. And as it turns out, we returned more than $500 billion in merchandise. So what Amazon and Walmart does is they box all this stuff up and then they resell it in bulk. And then customers line up to buy these mystery boxes full of clothes and toys and flat screens, cameras, tablets, you name it. And YouTube is just packed with videos of customers making this used merchandise ready for resale. So you can get like a 2x2 foot box just crammed full. And maybe it's going to sell for like $10 or $20 or something like that. You can also buy pallets of this stuff. Now, one of the things I want to warn you about is that, yes, this is a legitimate business. And yes, you can make money at it. But there are so many scams out there that say like, oh yeah, you can buy a pallet from us for $25 and you can make $2,000. And here's another place that you can buy a box of stuff. No. What I want you to do is actually go physically to what's called a bin store. That's BIN, a bin store. And that's where you can find a lot of these returns that you may be able to actually make some money at. So don't fall for the online scams and for the YouTube videos that say we're going to teach you how to do it. Just search for bin store near me. Again, that's BIN, a bin store. Still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as a package delivery scam I need to warn you about here on the Kim Komando Show. All righty, we're not getting any younger, sorry to say, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery. It's going to reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen your nails. Get 45% off and free shipping right now at getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. Tim in Atlanta, Georgia, glad to have you with us.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful.
The reason why I was calling today was I'm curious, have you done any research or has anybody even brought it up to you other than me about these earbud translators where you, I'm going to call it your ear cheat.
So are you trying to figure out how somebody from New York talks to somebody from Georgia?
Yeah. You definitely need a translator for that.
Well, okay. Let me back up, Tim. Let me just tell you. Last week, I went to my husband's family reunion in Augusta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And they referred to me as, that there's Kim. She's from the North.
She's from the North.
I was like, I actually looked at him and said, I thought we won that war, like in the 1800s. I'm just saying. Okay. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. All right. No, if you want to go down that road, I can.
We're not going down that road. So are you planning on traveling the world or what are you thinking?
Well, I am. I'm retired or retarded, however you want to look at that. I spent 32 years in the Army, so I'm ready. I'm ready to go see a different part of the world.
I see. Well, thank you for your service, number one.
Part. I want to see the fun, good part.
All right. Well, here's the deal. Most of the world speaks English, just to let you know.
Oh, I know.
And if they don't, there are easy workarounds. I've traveled to probably 36 different countries. The only place that I have ever been where I felt like I don't know what they're saying is Japan. And even under that scenario, I pulled up Google Translate on my phone and had it listen to what somebody was saying, then said it back to me in English, and then I spoke to my phone, and then they translated it to Japanese. In the airport, they don't speak English. There are no English translation signs, nothing, in Tokyo and other parts of Japan. And so I did feel like I don't even know what train to go. I don't even know what platform to go to. And that was a little rough, but it was able to get around it. Now, these translation tools are coming. They're just not where you need to have it right now.
That was what I was curious about with the AI, because there's several different AI translators. I was just curious if you'd ever, messed with them, anybody sent them to you.
I have tried them. Even the Google Pixel Buds, you need the phone for it to use. And they're not expensive. They're like, $200-$300 for what they do. There are some languages that work offline, meaning that you don't have to have your phone with you all the time.
Right.
As well as to have a connection, because the whole idea is that you may need this where you don't have 5 bars, right?
Correct.
And until we get to a point where our cell phones are being provided service by satellites, we're still tied to having 3 or 4 5 bars. Yeah, we need service. There is one that you might want to look at. It's called LandGoGo Genesis.
LandGoGo Genesis.
Yeah, it's at $300. But when you look at what they do, you pretty much have the same capability with your phone in using Google Translate. Let me tell you, they have done just a fabulous job with that app.
Now I use that occasionally as the translate. The Google Translate. It worked pretty good on a date.
Oh, that's good. Honey, I love you.
She couldn't speak English and I couldn't speak Portuguese. So
okay, well there you go. Well, see, that's what we're talking about. Now we're talking. We're not talking about traveling the world. We're talking about finding love. That's what we need. That's what we want. Mi amor. It's all about the love. Try LandGoGo. There's also Pocket Talk Classic, but I think if you just put Google Translate on a phone, but right now at least, I think it's just pretty darn good. And thanks for your call, Tim. All right, let's see. Wendy in Springfield, Illinois. Hello there, Wendy.
Hi.
Welcome.
My question for you, I work part-time and I want to see if you can recommend some websites where I could go apply for some jobs that I could, like typing jobs that I could do remotely from home so I don't have to go into an office every day.
Oh, I see. Okay. What are you doing now?
I work, I've been an administrative assistant my whole career.
Okay.
And that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Well, there are certainly so many different places that you can get a remote position. They always post the remote jobs that say ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, and Indeed.
Yeah.
But you just always have to be careful, make sure it's legit.
I know, that's the problem I've been having. A lot of them don't sound like they're up and up.
Yeah, I know. And you're going to find this on just about any job posting site, really. But if you're looking for a remote, there's a company called We Work Remotely. That's a website, not a company. It's a site called We Work Remotely. Also remote.co. I've heard some good things from. And then finally, there's another site that, because you've been an administrative assistant, you might want to look at. It's called AngelList. And that's really for positions with startup companies. So, so here's the deal. Wherever you go, whatever job that you look at, you have to be really, really smart. Okay. You want to make sure that you watch out for any red flag, anything that says, so they all of a sudden, like, you apply and they say, oh, you're hired. You're like, well, you didn't even talk to me. And then then what they say is like, oh, well, we need you to use a special computer. So we're going to send you $2,000 to buy a brand new Windows computer so you can work for us. And you're like, oh, that sounds really great. Okay. Then they send you a check for $4,000. And you're like, oh, you sent me too much. Like, oh, no. You know what? Just deposit that in your bank and then send us the difference. You see where I'm going?
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the sites have been like that. It's like, I don't know. And sometimes you can tell when they're emailing you back and their English isn't so good and their spelling isn't so good. So it's not legit.
And so you're smart. I mean, always verify the job postings. Take a look at, multiple sources. If you can apply directly through the company's official career pages, that's always your best bet. Always your best bet.
Okay.
So
that's good to know.
So instead of just going through email, because I'll tell you, not too long ago, there were fake job postings for podcast editors for my company.
Okay.
And
for your company.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. We didn't put them up. And all of a sudden, I'm getting emails from people saying, I applied for the job for the podcasting editor and I passed all the tests and now, when can I start? And I'm like, what is that about? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it sounds kind of crazy, but I want you to make sure that you just verify everything along the way because, I don't want you to get taken. And really, always trust your gut. If it feels off, it's probably off. All right, I have a couple of things that I need to talk to you guys and gals about. Number one, if you're just too shy to come on a big-time radio show and podcast, I get that, but I always want to help you out. And so I know that you can drop me all your questions all over social media and you DM me. Now, the best place for you to leave me your questions, I know it sounds kind of old school, and it is, but I want you to go to Komando.com. And there's a link at the top that says Ask Kim. Again, that's Komando.com. And you want to hit that link that says Ask Kim. Now, I want to talk to you about my newsletter. If you haven't already signed up for my newsletter, let me tell you, you are just missing out. I mean, I checked. We have a 98.6% positive rating right now on the newsletter with over 300,000 reviews. I know. I look at these numbers too, and I'm like, how did this happen? So if you're not already getting my newsletter, just go ahead and sign up. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. I'm not going to sell Lee's distributor email address to anybody ever. And you're really going to like the newsletter. And if you are already subscribed to the newsletter, I just want to say a big thanks because you've made 2024 an amazing year for our newsletter and for our entire team. And again, if you haven't already signed up, just do it now while you're thinking about it. Head over to getkim.com. All right, the Better Business Bureau is warning about a new package delivery scam, and I've got that coming up here on the show. All right, it's an old scam with kind of a new twist. It starts like this. Hey there, I'm Steve from UPS, and I can't find your house to make a delivery. Could you call me back? And you're like, oh, of course I have a delivery from UPS or FedEx or just USPS or just fill in the blank, okay? Now, if you call the number, the scammer's going to ask you to confirm your name, your address, and your credit card information. I know, it never stops, right? So you have to know exactly what you order from which companies and when they're going to arrive. It's truly your first line of defense. But you really just have to be careful of any of these out-of-the-blue messages, especially if you haven't opted for any delivery alerts. And if anyone ever asks for personal information over the phone, you just want to hang up. And now there's another variance of this where they're saying like, oh, we need to charge you a delivery fee of like 4 cents or 40 cents, and then it ends up costing you $100. So again, just be on the alert because all the scams are just kind of popping up, especially this time of year. Hey, thanks for joining us. You can always find me at Komando.com.